Hey, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Give Me Back My Horror Movies, the podcast. Got a special episode for us today. We have a first, I guess it's going to be the first of the year, is our interview. So we're going to try and sprinkle in interviews throughout the year. It seems like we're getting a pretty good run of people that want to actually talk to us. And so we're going to see how this turns out. Maybe after the next two, everyone else will cancel for some reason. But I'm your host, Charlie. With me, as always, is Nate. Say hello to the people, Nate.
Hello there.
There he is, back with the Obi-Wan Kenobi thing. And we are joined tonight with a special guest. Uh, how would you describe your job, Deryk? Just special
Um,
effects?
Special effects makeup, yeah. I mean, typically I just tell people I get paid to play with fake blood.
I dig it. I dig it. So we are joined with Deryk Wehrley. He is a special effects artist, mostly for independent movies, or
Yeah.
when they call you, you go. And
Yeah, freelance. I get the call, I show up, I do my thing, and I go home. And
you
yeah,
squirt blood all over
spray
everyone.
blood
And
everywhere. I travel, I see the world, and I make people bleed.
One of the great things about following Derek on Instagram, he's never covered in blood.
yeah, how do you
Somehow,
stay so
this
clean,
man
man?
stays very clean while making the blood spray.
It's true, I do. It's funny you mention that because people bring that up a lot. Actually, they're like, "We always see pictures of you with people who are covered in blood, or you in scenery with lots of blood. You never have blood on you. How do you pull that off?" And it's real easy. You're gonna laugh, but God's honest truth, I hate getting the blood on me and having to deal with cleaning it up. I hate having blood on my hands. So it's like I wear gloves. I sometimes wear an apron or I'll wear a poncho and stuff just so I don't get all messy. Because it's like, I feel like if I get messy, it's harder for me to jump from like one effect to the next without like having to take the time to clean myself off and wipe my arms down and stuff like that. So I
Yeah,
just try to wear, things that are disposable so I can just quickly, off with the poncho, off with the gloves, on to the next thing because everything moves so quickly that it's like I don't have time to sit here and wipe myself down. Plus, it just that sounds weird. So I guess out of context, I'm sorry, but
we
you
already
know,
Isolate,
established your special
isolate that.
effects stuff.
yeah.
You're
So
fine. You're fine.
but no, it's it gets pretty crazy on set, and every once in a while I'll get a little messy, especially if I run out of gloves because that does happen. Um, but yeah, it is a rare occasion that I get bloody.
I
Well,
gotta say, I'm a little disappointed that was actually a real answer, and you didn't just quote Mel Brooks from Dracula Dead and Loving It and just saying, location, location, location.
Oh, yeah, see, missed
say.
opportunity there. But
Yep, that's
honestly,
But I like
um,
that he had an answer for it because I'm sitting here going, you know what? Yeah, I don't want that little bit of blood mixed into my mucus scene. That's the very next thing, or I don't need
yeah,
red
and
slime.
honestly, like
You
it's
know,
if I have to do, let's say I just did a scene with a huge slit throat and there's blood everywhere. I'm covered in blood. It's all over my arms and hands and stuff. And then I have to do something more small, subtle, and delicate. If I get blood on that person's wardrobe or on that person, that's a big deal because that ruins the continuity. And people are like, wait, what's this? And it's
yep.
Derek messed up. That's all.
yeah, it's Deryk messed it up. So it's more of a almost like working at a restaurant, like cross contamination. I try not to
Yeah,
cross contaminate things when possible, especially when I'm working with the makeups removers and all this kind of stuff. It's super easy to make a mistake in a lot of times in ways you don't want to. So any way I can avoid that. Plus, I don't know. Sometimes this stuff is a nightmare to get off, depending
I
on what it is.
figure also the drive home. Like, say you're driving home from Virginia back up to Ohio, and
Uh-huh.
you look like Nicolas Cage from Mandy, just covered in blood. And if you happen to get pulled over, like, no, wait, I can explain.
don't check all the totes in the back of the car
It's
though.
funny you say
All
that.
those limbs are fake.
It's funny you say that because when I had my last car, so my current car is a hatchback and you can like see in the back. So you'll see the crates and things like that. Well, the car I had before this was a sedan, and I had bloody rags, bloody machetes, and like all the body parts and stuff in the back of my car. And I forgot they were back there because sometimes when I come back from a shoot, unload my car immediately. Sometimes I get the expensive and um I get the expensive stuff out, or the stuff that could be affected by like temperatures out.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
sometimes there's just goofy shit that I live back there, you know. So I go into Valvoline to get an oil change, and I'm like, okay, and they're like, well, hey, your one license plate light's out. Do you want us to change that? They're like, it's like $10. I'm like, sure, whatever. And then I'm like, oh. And so they
Oh,
pop the
no.
trunk, and they're like, and I was like, I can explain this. And they're just like, what is going on? I mean, they laughed because, I mean, they probably thought it was a joke, but it's just like, nah, man, I do movies. So now every time I go in, they ask me, they're like, oh, have you done any movies recently? And I get to talk to them about it. But like that one time, the lady who popped the trunk, she was just like, you guys want to come here and take a look at this? Because this is not good.
Meanwhile, the serial killer that's in the next bay over is just like, whoo. Oh man! All I gotta do is say it. I'm a movie
Yeah,
guy.
not this
Cool.
See, I would just keep doing it. Every time I go for an oil change, I'd have a different head in the back of the trunk, because now they're expecting it. So now it's like, this is like free publicity for them.
Oh, it
And you
totally
just,
is.
put a different head in there, and they'll post it on their, like, a quick lube Instagram or whatever.
Oh, for sure.
I think it's a great promotional opportunity missed there, Derek. So
One of the coolest things I ever did, and it's probably been my most reacted to story on Instagram, is I had a severed head from a movie, and I got to keep it. It's full silicone, like the thing looks amazing, and put it inside my mini fridge, right? And I made a
mhm.
little video that like, man, I'm thirsty. I pop it open, and then I just grab a water bottle and then close it. But there's like this bloody severed head sitting on like right next to the water, and people thought that was hilarious. Everyone enjoyed that quite a bit.
That gives me flashbacks to Split Second when he opens up the refrigerator and the heart of his girlfriend
Yes.
sitting in there.
And
Yeah.
that's kind of what gave me the idea. I'm like, oh, this could be a lot of fun, you know. And I went up and did a movie in Connecticut back in like September, October of last year. And on the way up, I had this like charred corpse, and it looked like just like it was a skeleton, but I had like this leathery, burnt, holy, nasty skin all over it, and it was just like a rotted, burnt corpse that was sitting in the back of my vehicle. I'm like, dude, if I get pulled over, this is gonna look so suspicious. And like, when I got to the hotel, I went to the cleaning lady. I was like, hey, just so you know, I'm part of the film crew. I'm the FX guy, and there's like body parts and stuff in my room. So like, try to ignore that. Maybe like it's not a big deal. And our the girl who was doing wardrobe, her name was Jolene. I heard her laughing in a room a couple doors down. It's like clearly she heard me. And then she posted about it on Twitter later, and it was really funny.
Once again, there's a serial killer that is checking in, 2 guests down, going, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
but all I can think about though is I would have the body like seat belted next to me in the car.
well, if it was
That's
more
exactly
posable,
what
I
I
was
would do.
gonna do that, but I had so much stuff that it just had to lay. But I did lay it in the bed next to me, and it was just like laying there all burnt and stuff. And so whenever someone from the crew or the cast would come by my room to do like a makeup test, or like when the producers came down, there's just this like dead body laying in the bed, and I had like the covers pulled up, and I put a hat on it and stuff, and
I dig it.
it was really
I
funny.
dig it, man.
I mean, you gotta cuddle with whatever you can.
Yeah. You know what? It is lonely sometimes. And
It's
you
lonely
kinda
on the
just need
road.
cuddles. And sometimes it's a little chilly cuddling a corpse, but at least it's something.
That's all right, man. That's all right. Well, we've kind of like jumped right into this, so let's
Pump the brakes and explain
No.
why Deryk is on the show.
there's no brake pumping here, but no, let's just let him know why he is here. You are involved with a movie that's I guess it's still under funding, or in the middle of being funded right now, right, on Indiegogo.
That is correct. Yeah, we are currently funding on Indiegogo.
And it's called Late Checkout, so we need to tell the people the name of the movie.
It's called Late Checkout. We're funding on Indiegogo. We have, I think, right at or just under 20 days left on our campaign. We are 124 or 123% funded currently. So we met our goal. We're over, and now we have like stretch goals that we're starting to hit. With some bonus
there's a new
content.
stretch goal that's really sweet, where For $300, you can get slayed in the film, which means you can get covered in blood by Deryk.
Yes, and we call that one the die by Deryk's hand perk, just because you
I
get to
dig it.
show up and I kill you in the movie. It's a good time. I've done so many on-screen death perks across so many different movies, and they're always a ton of fun because you get to meet people who have been involved with or donated to so many different projects, and it kind of makes you realize the indie scene and how many people have donated to, like, you'll meet someone's like, oh, I donated to this, and it's like, wow, I worked on all those.
Mhm.
And some we'll get into a little bit more later, but just that community of the scene. But it's
Right.
a lot of fun, and I cannot recommend it enough. You get to come down, hang out on set for a day. Obviously you're in the movie, you get covered in blood, prosthetics, and the whole 9 yards. It's always a good time, always.
No, it sounds like it. And in case we have people that maybe don't really understand what the
Mhm.
Indiegogo thing is, it is like another option from like GoFundMe's or
Mhm.
Patreons. I've supported some Indiegogo projects. I'm actually part of the In Search of Tomorrow, which is the documentary series that go through like all the sci-fi movies. They've done the horror ones, they've
Yeah.
done the action. And then I've actually backed some independent comic book artists that have
Mhm.
just gone and done their own projects. And what I love about it is all of the little perks and tiers that you can do. So like the stretch goals is, hey, if we hit this goal, we're going to add some extra things. So it's not like it's just
Mhm.
like we're making a bunch more money. You're going to get more stuff the more people promote it. So we're going to put links for all that stuff in the group. We'll have links on our Instagram. We'll have everything to help promote this movie out there for everybody. So yeah, so it's going to be an independent movie called Late Checkout. There is I'm going to call it a stinger trailer. It's a
Mhm.
little trailer that you guys have done and put out. We got to see it. We normally play trailers here, but no real voice audio, just music and stuff like that. So again, we'll share it in all our social media so everybody can see
Mhm.
it. But why don't you tell us a little bit about that stinger trailer? Why don't you
Yeah.
because
So
you were on that
our
quite a bit.
yeah, no, we've been sharing, I mean, absolutely sharing the crap out of it. And I think people have really enjoyed it, and we've gotten a lot of compliments. The idea was we wanted to have, like, a teaser or a stinger trailer to put out there so people could kind of get an idea of what we were shooting for as far as, like, the lighting, the sets, what the killer's going to look like,
The
feature
gore.
some of the cast, and some of the kills and gore. And we just wanted to be like, here's what you can expect from our film. Here's kind of the look and the idea of what you're gonna get. And then we dropped that about a month before the campaign went live, just to kind of build up the hype.
Yeah.
And then it kind of went hand in hand with our Indiegogo campaign. Um, so I feel like having something like that, because when you have an Indiegogo campaign go live, it's like you can give a description, you can talk about it all day long, but I feel like unless you have something visually for people to look at, you know, a lot of the times people aren't going to know what the final product's going to look like until it's done, and
Right.
they've already put money towards it. So it's like I feel like people are more apt to put money towards something if they can see, like, okay, this is what I'm going to be putting my money towards. And I think if they have an idea or something visual to go off of that, I think it makes them, gets people more excited about it, and I think it gives something to share other than just like, oh, look at our campaign. It's like, no, look at what we're capable of. This
Right.
is what you're gonna get. So
And there's definitely quite a bit of perks for it, whether it be a pin that has like the killer's welder mask or just a digital copy of the movie. You can get signed autographs. There's a lot of cool shit in this.
Yeah. No,
yeah, and I
there's a
mean,
ton
And
of
like,
awesome stuff I saw.
there's
Yeah.
been a
yeah.
lot of communication, which is what I like. Like,
Mhm.
it isn't like, I funded stuff on Kickstarter in the past and like no communication. It's like, well, hell, did you just take like $20 from me and like run?
Yeah.
Like, but no, like you guys are being like completely dead serious on what you're doing.
Mhm.
And with Lake Checkout, you guys are describing this as a homage to the 2000s horror, which
Yeah.
is very interesting because most people go for the 80s and when you guys like, I've already shared the poster in the group, but it does have like this nice, cool pink and purple overtones with blood splatter and this cheesy ass like smile that's on the welder mask that I love. Um, but with all that said, like when they approached you, like, hey, this is going to be early 2000s, what was your first reaction then?
I thought it was interesting when Josh originally approached me because it's funny. Josh had approached me in late 2020, early 2021, originally to do a movie he was working on called Hacksaw Slumber Party. That was more of an 80s throwback. And then that kind of evolved into what this movie was called, which originally was Sawzall. But then, like,
Nice.
you can't call it that because that's a trademarked name. And it's like, okay,
It
we're going to
is.
get sued if we do that. But originally,
Reciprocating saw doesn't have the same kind
It
of
doesn't. It doesn't
flair
really
to it.
roll off the tongue.
It totally doesn't, you know. So it's like I read the script, and at that point, this was in, I want to say, the fall of 2021, early fall. I read it, and I was like, yeah, I'm down for this. You know, just let me know when you get the full script done, because at that point, it was just like a short, like 50-page breakdown, just generalized. Here's what we're going for, and he's like, I'm obviously going to fill it out, but he's like, this is the straightforward.
Here's
story.
Our beats.
Yeah, and so. You know, I read it and he's like, I want to go for a late 90s, early 2000s because he's like, most people I know talk about movies like, you know, House on Haunted Hill, Valentine, Urban Legend, Ghost Ship, 13 Ghosts, House of Wax, and like all these movies that are like super underrated in a lot of senses. Because I went back and rewatched House of Wax recently, like, this movie is actually a lot of fun. Like I enjoy it, you know. And
the Paris
like,
Hilton kill alone makes that worth that movie
absolutely.
worth it.
I mean,
yes.
when the wax is coming off and it's like peeling off chunks of skin, the fingers getting cut. There's so many cool scenes, but like the set design, the effects. I mean, everything about it was like so special. And I've even joked around with people before, but it's like it's kind of legit. Early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000 horror movies. A lot of them remind me of like giallo films, like old Italian, because it's like the masks, the lighting, the killers having like leather gloves. It's always like a whodunit. There's always a twist, and it's just like, dude, that's totally what this is. And as I was reading this script, and he was kind of telling me visually what he wanted out of it, I'm just like, okay, I'm super down for this because doing throwback 80s movies, I feel like is very passe. Like everybody's done it, and everybody is doing it. And right now, I see a lot of people trying to do like 90s style horror, making it more drama oriented, which again, I'm super down for. But nobody's trying to go back to like the movies that were coming out when like Nate and I were like kids, you know, growing up. And it's like nobody's trying to do that. But it's like all these movies had 6 soundtracks. I mean, listen to the soundtrack of Bride of Chucky, man. There's like Slayer, Coal Chamber, and Judas Priest and Bruce Dickinson. It's like
going to bring
so
that up.
good.
Because like you've got like the Alone in the Dark soundtrack, the Freddy versus Jason soundtrack. To me, like the early 2000s, that's like the MTV era, I guess you could say, of horror, because it's very attractive people are in all these movies. It does have that soundtrack. It does have this certain style to it that I know some people are like, oh, it's just watered down horror, but it definitely, like, now that we're 20 years later, like, it has a reason that's there, you know. It has an impact. You mentioned Urban Legends, like that's a great movie.
It is.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake came out around this time. Jason X, like there's just some interesting ones. Hatchet, Wrong Turn.
Yeah.
You know?
And I feel like a lot of those movies, you know, again, like growing up, Wrong Turn and The Descent were like 2 of my favorites because The Descent freaked me out so bad, but it's like, it's so good, you know. And I tell people all the time that it's easy to make fun of the early 2000s horror movies, but as you go back and rewatch them, dude, some of them are super, super graphic and like very gory. And do you always see the kills on screen? Not always. But it's always like you see the aftermath and it's like a total bloodbath, you know? And it's just like, man, I don't feel like all those movies get get what they deserve as far as like respect and notoriety.
Right.
And I think that's starting to happen more right now because I feel like people in their mid-20s are starting to get the age where they're being more vocal about, you know what, I love this movie. And it's not even a guilty pleasure because it's an awesome movie, you know? And And I think the idea of doing this stinger was, if we're going to do an early 2000s style horror film, it, like Nate said, it's the MTV era. It's like, why not do a stinger that's almost like a music video? And so our cinematographer, Jaron Lewis, who I worked with previously on the film They See You, predominantly does music videos. He did some stuff with Chris Jericho. He's done some stuff with Corey Taylor and all that. So it's like, that's kind of his bread and butter.
Yeah.
So, we kind of went with that style. And we even have Rocky Gray, who's the ex-drummer of Evanescence, doing the soundtrack for us. So it's like,
Oh, nice.
who better to do the soundtrack than someone who was like doing music at that time for
the
that
person
stuff.
that would have been a part of that early 2000 King, like
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Jeez.
it's kind of kick my table there. But yeah, I mean, getting people who were involved at that time, and even like our cast. Sorry, I was eating a gummy bear. Even some of our cast, like some of these guys have been in like, horror films from like the early 2010s, even up until now. Some of them being on, films way before. But it's like, we have a very attractive group of people in this film. Everybody is, very, very good looking group of people, very talented group of people. And they all look, based on like the clothing choices we're making, the hairstyles, the way people were going to wear their hair. And it's just like, it just fits the vibe so much. Cause they're in every 2000s horror movie, there's always like the goth couple covered in tattoos and stuff like that. And
Well,
we
yeah.
have that. We
that's
totally
what you
have
gotta have.
that,
Yeah.
and it's like,
That's
the
part of
people-
it. I mean,
Yeah. We have people with like, dyed hair and stuff like that. And then, it's like, it's a couple's retreat at a cabin in the woods. And it's like, dude, this is just like, it just oozes that MTV era 2000s horror. Like, watch pretty people die.
I can almost guarantee there's someone wearing like low-rise jeans, That was also famous in the early 2000s, was
Yes,
their
they
butt
were.
crack is going to hang out any moment.
yeah, that was Jessica Biel. That was her
Exactly.
whole shtick
Yeah,
the
that was the
entire
whole thing. And
2000s.
you know what? If we can find some for someone to wear, I'm gonna fully support
Go
that.
for it.
And it's crazy because when you do a lot of independent films like this, we usually don't have a wardrobe person involved. So it's like a lot of these people kind of bring their own wardrobe, or they're given like X amount of dollars to go buy specific clothes for their character to wear.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're kind of having fun. There was a whole day where we kind of goofed around coming up with backstories for the characters and for all these people, and like talk about, oh, I'm gonna wear this and this is what I'm gonna wear, and people are making jokes about like wearing Jinkos and stuff like that. And I'm like, someone has to now. It has to be a thing.
Yeah.
Please put the killer in Jinkos with the mask.
No,
would be
because
amazing.
that's going to kill the mask vibe for me, because the mask is what really sells me on this movie.
Well,
Because
and I talked to Josh about it. We were actually on set, and I have a pair of leather gloves that are with my leather jacket, and they got a zipper on them and stuff, and they look like killer gloves from an Argento film. And I'm like, dude, I should buy another pair of these and have the killer wear. And he's like, actually, I kind of like that. I'm like, yes. Like,
there you
you
go.
got to do that. But the killer's style is very sleek. Black jeans, black boots, black hoodie, black leather gloves. It sounds like I'm reading off the lyrics to Cop Killer by Body Count right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Much love to Body
totally
Count, though.
the vibe, it's it is. But as far as just the cast and stuff like that, I'm very excited to see the wardrobe choices and things like that. So I think we're having a lot of fun talking about it, but until people start getting it and we actually see it coming to life, it's like, that's when it's like, oh man, we're totally doing this right now.
I just like how Deryk's trying to get that extra byline in the credits as costume design, though.
Yeah.
Not just SFX, but it's also going to have Deryk in costuming.
Dude,
and all the
and I've had so
department.
many credits over the years. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a movie where I have like an animal wrangler, just because I had to deal with animals. But it's like, I mean, I've been an armorist, I've been special effects, I've been producer, props designer, set decorator, art department. I've had so many credits over the years, it's hard to even keep track sometimes. But
That's awesome.
hey, wardrobe would be cool.
See, I'm just adding another tick to the box, man. Get
Why
that
not?
IMDb list even longer, brother. That's all it is, man.
Add it to
It's out of control.
the resume.
Absolutely out of control. But yeah, no, super excited about it. It's every time we get closer, we get a little bit more money, and every time we talk in the group chat, and people kind of bring up different things. I mean, it just until you're involved with it, and you are involved with a project A from like when the script is conceived all the way up to the movie's release. The excitement of leading up to the shoot during the crowdfunding campaign, and when you finally hit your goal, how exciting that is, and knowing that hey, every dime we make from here is just going to make the movie that much better. And that's why I tell people, like, yeah, we've hit our goal, and that's amazing, but it's like every dime we earn from that point forward is just extra that's going to go into making it as amazing as it can be. So it's exciting to know that we've hit it and we're going over. And our first big landmark we're trying to hit is 25,000. We're sitting at just under 23. But when we
I saw that
20,
today.
Yeah, when we hit 25, we're gonna announce a new cast member as part of the film, and she is another industry name. I can't say anything right now, but I do know who it is.
Don't let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, but she is someone I've worked with before, and she's super, super awesome. So hopefully we hit that so we can get her involved as well.
And like you guys hit the goal really quickly too. It was like 4 days, I think.
In our first
which
week,
was awesome.
Yeah, and what's crazy is so Josh was texting me, and it was a couple days before the campaign went live because it went live Friday the 7th of January, and he's like, "So we have Felissa Rose," and we knew we had Felissa Rose for like weeks at this point.
Yeah,
and he's like, should we announce her now? Should we wait? I said, tell you what, drop the poster 2 days before, and I said the day we drop the campaign, announce her as part of it. So we announced Felissa Rose at noon, right when we dropped the campaign, and in the first 2 hours we hit $5,000, which is pretty amazing. That weekend I think we hit 10 the first weekend. By Tuesday we were at like 13 or 14, and then by the following day we had hit our goal. It's hard to believe we're on January 26th, so it's been almost 20 days, and we've basically averaged $1,000 a day at this point.
That's amazing. That's really awesome. Is. I mean,
it really is. And I tell people all the time, different projects bring different amounts of money, and they all raise money in different speeds. And with this being Josh's second film, I think it's pretty impressive that it's blown up the way it has. But he has made an incredible trailer with Jaren. His marketing, the way he puts the stuff out there, is genius. We have an incredible crew. We have an all-star cast, and it's just like how could someone look at this and not be like, man, I'll at least throw $10 or $20 at this just to get a copy of it to see what it's like, knowing that money is directly going towards making it happen. Like that money is literally going in my pocket to put towards buying fake blood,
More blood.
More blood.
It's literally more. Yeah.
That should be a tier.
This,
can we get that as a tier? Let's talk to Josh. Like, Josh, we need the more blood tier. However much goes to there, that means Deryk gets more blood. I want to go ahead and put that out there. Josh, you're listening.
Yes. Josh,
we want the more blood tier.
Text him and be like, hey, we got an idea here.
More blood tier.
But
absolutely.
One of the things is Deryk has already kind of given us the insight last week that, sometimes a movie will only use like half a cup of blood for a scene and they really make it work. No. The more blood tier is going to use 5 gallons all on screen.
Our goal is 5 gallons.
5 gallons of blood.
Use at least 5 gallons of blood in this. And a lot of people are like, hey, that's not very much. But it's like, dude, when you see the photos and you see the clips in the Stinger trailer, like that was not even 40 ounces of blood, and it looks like way more than that. So 5 gallons goes a long way. In fact, I know Nate has seen the photo of me on set of They See It with my arms up in the air in that room where there's like lakes of blood.
Oh yeah.
That was only like 3 gallons.
Yeah, that's why we're
But,
going
I
for
mean,
5 gallons,
was
all
so
on
much fun.
screen.
So it's like I want at least 5 gallons on screen, at least. And it's like I have so many cool ideas, and I will say, Josh has been amazing about some of these effects. With there's specific ones that he's like, I know for a fact I want to see this, but then there's been some where he has left it open. He's like, you just come up with something cool, send it to me. If I like it, we'll do it. If not, we'll work with it. But so far, everything I've recommended or been like, hey, I want to try this or we should do this, he has been so receptive to it and been like, dude, yes. Because he wants it to be a collaborative process, and he wants other people to have say and stuff. And so it's been amazing being able to be like reading the script where it's blank with no kills, but you know someone's dying. And he's like, dude, just do whatever. And I'm like,
Fill in the blanks.
yes. It's like Mad Libs of murder.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Color outside the lines with all of the blood. You know, there's the
Precisely.
actress or there's the actor. What is missing? Cut off an arm, cut off a finger. We're big proponents of digit removal. So
Yeah, we really like when digits get removed and kind of
we're
like
finding
fly.
that's probably one of our favorite gags is when someone loses fingers. So
Oh,
we
yeah.
love ooey gooey. So the more ooey gooey you're going to make this, the more we're going to promote it. And if you can give us like at least a 5-digit count in this movie, and you don't even have to say nothing, we'll just know that was the Give Me Back My Horror Movies contribution to the
Yeah,
movie.
like there it
Is
was.
some fingers are gone. That's all we
Man,
have.
maybe I'll have to do something with that, because if you guys saw the new Scream, which I know Nate has, have you seen it, Charlie?
I have not yet because I've got a house full of kids and it's hard to break away to go watch a horror movie.
See, I was gonna bring up a specific. Now it's not a digit removal, but a specific body part that the knife goes through in like the very beginning of the film that had me like, oh, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I know exactly.
Okay, so
what you're talking
now
about.
I'm excited.
I'm just
because
like, dude, but then it comes into play later where you're just like, oh, that's even worse, you know? So it's like,
see, I like that, you know.
I'm all about the really painful stuff. Like if I see it and I'm like, ow, like, you know, bone breaking, because if
I
you've
love
ever broken a
crunching.
bone, it's
Oh,
horrible
yeah.
and it's painful.
Yes.
So that always gets me. Digit removals, but like anything with teeth or eyes.
Eyes,
that
I
stuff-
can't do.
Ugh.
Eyes are just the worst.
I
Was
hate
it
eyes.
the second Saw movie where like the key is behind the person's
Yes.
eye and they have to
Oh
like
my God.
take the
dude.
scalpel?
Yes, precisely. You know, and it's
But do it, but no. Do it, but no.
yeah, it's like, oh God, just I would die because there's no way I would have been able to do it. But
Oh yeah, I'd be like,
You
you know
know.
what, dude? I'm no longer in debt. Peace.
the deuces. But like in Old Boy with the teeth getting with the
Oh,
hammer,
yeah.
I'm just like,
Tongue.
oh.
Yeah.
Ouch.
No,
I just-
there's definitely some kills and ways to do things that are just it doesn't I mean, not everyone has to get decapitated. Not everyone has to
No.
lose an arm. There are some more painful,
Suffer.
not even kills. You
Mhm.
can just torture someone in some movies and they don't die. And you're
Yeah.
just like, oh, I just kill me. Just
Yeah.
I don't want to ever experience that in my life, you know.
And that's kind of the approach I want to take with some of these kills. Is like, I mean, you're gonna have throat slits in every movie ever, and don't get me wrong, I like a good throat slit. I
Well,
am
it's a
sucker
classic.
for that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like I want to see creative things, and there's like so many cool kills that can be done, or what's a classic kill that can be done in a new way or filmed in a different way that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of some of the approach I want to do. Is I want people to look at and be like, oh God, or you know, just see things and get uncomfortable or feel like that secondhand ouchie when they see it, because it's just like, oh God, that's
Well,
not
that
fun.
like brings up perfectly. Like there's even in the action movies, I remember in Punisher Warzone where he stabbed the dude through the underside of his jaw, but you saw the knife through his mouth.
yeah.
So you're like, that goes all the way through. It was not just a closed mouth with a fake handle. You're like looking at the blade going
Oh,
through,
yeah.
and you're just like, oh my God, that
And
just
that was
elevated it, you know?
that was something I remember seeing in the Argento film Opera, when the dude
Yeah.
finds the girl tied to the column, and then the killer stabs him and he's screaming and it's like up in his neck and it's like the blades in his mouth. And
They paid homage to that in Hot Fuzz with
yes,
Yeah, with
yeah,
the
with the
the miniature
steeple,
house.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it goes up through the chin. And I was like,
and he's
oh,
still talking. It really
Oh.
hurt.
oh god, that was so painful to see. And I mean, even in the Maniac remake, the first kill in that movie, when he follows that girl back to her apartment and she goes to screaming up through the
Yep.
mouth, yanks it out and then scalps her, and it's just like boom, title card. And I was like, that was one hell of a
That
cold open,
whole movie is like 90 minutes of just being uncomfortable.
dude. It
Well,
is,
yeah,
and
just the way
honestly,
they did that. Yeah,
it's
And
one
it's
of my
so
favorite.
good.
It is one of my favorite horror movies ever, just because it is so intense, and seeing it all in first person is just absolutely unreal.
Much
But
more visceral.
it
I
is.
realize as I've gotten older, I've gotten more squeamish than what I used to be. Like, there's a movie on Netflix called The Night Comes for Us, and it's like a
Mhm.
Korean action movie. And there's moments where people are getting stabbed with bones, like meat
Oh.
bones. And it is just so gross. And as it kept going on, I was just like, please just stop. Like, I don't ever want to get stabbed by a bone now. I didn't think that was on my list.
Dude,
Yeah, add that to the list of things I don't want to get stabbed with. Is
the
Yeah.
weirdest thing that makes me cringe now, and it's so weird. I can't watch like these wipeout videos of like kids skateboarding or rollerblading down. I can watch them up to the point of the fall and the impact. I can't watch the rest of it. It like sends an electrical shock through my body, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And everyone like is laughing that watch these things. It's like, oh, this is hilarious. And I'm sitting there going, no.
It's because we're older and like we know like if that were to happen to us,
hurts.
we're out of work.
It's funny because it's like I love watching fail videos. I love watching people get injured doing dumb things or doing stunts or doing like skateboard stuff. And it's like I look back to the TV show Scarred, if you remember
I was
that.
about
I
to say,
remember
Scarred
Scarred.
with
I
Papa
do.
Roach.
I go
Yes.
back and rewatch that and I'm like, oh my god, this is horrific. I remember it'd take me forever to look it up, but a dude was skateboarding and he was trying to jump down like 20 stairs or something like that, and he face
misses.
plants and his head bounces, and when they go up, there are marks on the cement from chunks of
See.
skin where his face bounces. Gets up.
I
And
can't-
he's shredded, dude. It's
I
nuts.
can watch right till the head bounces. I'm there till I'm like, oh God, I can't watch this. Like I find myself doing it at America's Funniest Home Videos. Okay, that's how bad it is
This
for
is
me.
supposed to be funny.
Hey,
think
I've made Deryk spit water. I have now made everyone on the show spit water.
But with that stuff though, I think it's because it's like we're watching, we're like, wow, this is real.
Yeah,
That happened to someone.
People
and I
survive
think
this.
when I see realizing that, but then watching a movie and associating it sometimes with like realism, it's like, oh my god, if that happened, that would totally suck.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
I think about some of these kills and stuff, and I'm just like, man, that would not be fun, like at all. That would be horrific, and you know, and that's kind of the way I've approached it. Is oftentimes I see stuff in like a fail video or like some TikTok nonsense or you know something happened to someone at work and I'm like, man, how can I incorporate that into something I do in a movie, because that made me uncomfortable, and if I can put that in a movie and make people cringe, perfect.
Beautiful. Now we have a new kill idea is the killer is slamming someone's head into steps as they're walking them down. Just do
Oh, God.
that and have the trail go.
Just dragging them by their feet and their heads just bonk, bonk,
Oh,
bonk,
yeah.
See,
bonk.
I hate that too. But like have most of their body weight lifted up, so you know that every bit of the weight is on
Yeah,
their
like
head.
he's got the back of the shirt and he's walking down, just slamming
Oh,
each
Oh,
one.
God.
See,
That
I-
way they turn into a pancake at the end.
Ugh.
But this is kind of wild though that that we're a desensitized people. I can't even say generation anymore. Like my youngest kids are pretty much desensitized because of the stuff they can just watch on videos. So to actually get those kind of emotions out of your audience is getting harder. you've got your hardcore people that are like, it was some cool blood and some gore, but it didn't really do anything to me. And then you've got me that's like, yeah, when that dude fell down because he was running, that scared the shit out of me. I hated that part. But to get that factor of, oh my God. And I mean, we're coming off of, I don't know, how many Saw movies are there now? Close to 10,
Close to
I
10,
mean,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're always trying to come up with the next weird way we've never seen someone die.
And
You know,
and I was talking to my partner about this recently, and she had brought up that a scene in a movie that always made her cringe, and it's something you don't even see on camera. And it's the curb stomp from American History X.
oh God, yeah.
Oh,
She
it's
says
one of the worst scenes ever.
it is one of the worst scenes ever, and it makes you so uncomfortable. And she's like, you don't even see it happen. You
No.
don't. It cuts right away, and she's like, it's the mentality of knowing what happened. And the second they show the up close of the teeth enamel, like going up against it, like it goes to that teeth stuff that I just can't do. And what I think it is when you get this visceral emotion, I think we're filming things a lot differently than we used to as well. Because I just think, in the 80s, everything was just, slit throat, there it is. But now it's like the acting is better, the effects are better, blood looks more real now. And it's just like, it's at a point where it's like, when you see it in a movie, it's like, that looks too real to be fake. And sometimes it's just the way it's filmed and put on camera. You're just like, oh my God.
It's so crazy to me. The last time I went back and watched Zombie, the old French film. And like, I remember as a kid that being gross, violent, like disturbing. And then when you rewatch it now, it's still great. There's nothing wrong with the movie.
Yeah.
But Walking Dead does 10 times worse in a 45-minute long episode now.
Oh, yeah.
And
on
it's insane.
AMC,
Yeah,
on network television.
We're just in a new world where it's like, oh wow, like.
Well, and you got to think back when Zombie came out, it was basically rated X for being so violent and brutal, and it's like you go back and watch it, it's just sloppy, nasty gore. Like the scene where the girl's being eaten, the girl got her eye gouged out.
Yeah,
and they walk in and they see her being. It's like that is the nastiest looking gore I think I've ever seen on camera. It just looks disgusting. And when the chick gets her throat ripped out, I mean, it's just so visceral. And I feel like those are the movies that inspired the whole generation of effects artists who have gone on to do stuff on The Walking Dead. Like, it was a big inspiration for me. And
it'd have to be. I mean,
it has to be, yeah.
It has so much iconic imagery in it.
It does. And I feel like it inspired a lot of people. But I think, with time, things have slowly been getting more and more violent on TV. Like even The Walking Dead from season 1 up to what's out now over the last 10, 11 years.
So different.
It has gradually gotten worse because that first season was gory, but it wasn't any worse than like a Romero movie.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Most that doesn't get cut out on TV.
The budget ballooned up. That's when they were like, let whatever happen, let zombies literally fall from a ceiling and splatter upon impact.
But you could tell that they were actually paying homage to Romero and Savini and all these guys that paved the way for us to have a serial television show about zombies, and then it was just like, okay, how do we keep viewership up? We got to make it grosser. We got to, find that bar and keep going over it until they make the bar go up a little higher and then go over it again.
Which is funny because I love the comic so much because it was all character pieces and drama. Mm-hmm. And then the show, once they realized like, oh, everyone wants the action. I was just like, I like the action. I really do. And I feel terrible like getting mad at the show for going that way, but giving my characters still, you can
still get mad at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It did so well that I was still mad at John Barenthal for even playing Shane. That's how that character affected me in the book, that I hated him as an actor until he was Punisher. I wouldn't watch anything he was in till after I saw him in I was mad he was Punisher. Till I watched it.
He plays a bad person so great. And
he
really does.
But I already hated Shane. I already hated that character with a passion. So the very first episode, I'm already going, I don't like you and I can't wait till you die. It's just, and they drug it out longer too. So I'm like, you're here way longer than you need to be.
Yeah,
You
you were
need
supposed
to
to
go
die
away.
in issue 6 or something like that.
Yeah.
And here you are,
Yeah,
2 seasons deep.
You're in season 2, and this is that shouldn't happen.
Something I've noticed with that show, just to kind of like piggyback off of like, how the content's changed, is when the show first came out, it was TV 14.
Mhm.
Now I've noticed networks are more ballsy with playing TV MA stuff and just putting like a disclaimer at the beginning, like, hey, this is intended for mature audiences, so viewer discretion is advised. And they're kind of just being like, listen, we're going to play whatever we want, and we're going to show whatever we want.
We're
And
literally
it's
just
kind of
going
at
to
your
bleep out the
discretion
F
whether you
word.
want to watch it or not. And I
Well,
feel like 10 years ago, TV wasn't like that. Like, you had to be up at like 3 a.m. to watch something that was TVMA and uncensored.
There used to be a time on
Yeah.
Comedy Central, if you wanted to watch any of the good comedies, it was like 2 a.m. to 4 a.m.
2 a.m.
That's
Yep.
your window. And
But-
then, like, obviously, you got some angry Karen or Brenda getting upset about that,
Yeah.
Well, it's like I have actually caught movies like even on FX and some of these other channels that are like, this is the original cut of the movie. Viewer discretion advised.
Yeah, they
And
don't even like edit out people
there's-
dropping the F-bomb.
No,
or, like,
they've let
any of
the
violence
F-bomb
or anything. They're
go.
just like, it is what it is.
They're like, hey, and I think it was a time when, okay, they got a fine and they didn't want to pay that fine. And now they're realizing that we're making more money if we get people to watch it, regardless of the fine.
And I
So,
feel like
pay it.
Netflix has changed the game with that a little bit too.
Yeah.
Because Netflix,
Totally.
everybody has access to Netflix, and Netflix is like, dude,
Do whatever.
do whatever,
remember
go wild. And so I
That
feel like
first season of Daredevil blew my mind because I was not
God, yeah.
expecting,
yeah,
brain matter.
No,
yeah, it was intense.
it went nuts. I mean, and you're right, because now it's like with Netflix, it's like, okay, I have the kids version. So
Mhm.
the kids can click on that one and they can see what, is policed. You go on to mine or my wife's, it's like everything is on there. It doesn't matter. It's just crazy what is out there for everyone to consume.
Absolutely.
But again, we are a desensitized society anymore. The news has more violence sometimes than some of our movies. So now to
Oh,
try
definitely.
and get those feelings, and I'm just going to backtrack ever so slightly, but you brought up like the movie The Descent being one of the 2000s movies. The scariest part of that movie for me is the claustrophobia scene where she
Dude.
gets trapped in
Bingo.
that closed space. I still can put that movie in, and I don't, I'll watch the monsters tear everyone apart. The pool of blood with all the goo and stuff in it. I almost can't watch the part where she gets stuck anymore. That first time watching it, I'm claustrophobic. I'm a big dude, so I don't go into places I know I don't fit, and I'm watching that and I can't breathe. I'm just like, I can't catch my
horrifying
breath
to
watching
watch.
it.
And the way they filmed that, they filmed it on a sound stage, and it's all like foam rocks, like they're not gonna hurt. But it's like the way it's filmed, it feels like you're
You're
that
stuck.
space
Yeah.
with her, and it's like it's bad enough seeing her in it, but when you feel like you're there and there's even less room, it's like dude, it triggers my fight or flight every time I watch it. 'Cause I'm
She
just like,
sells it though.
Yeah, her performance is
perfectly-
incredible.
So that just kind of goes so much further as even in independent movies, there's nothing in that scene that can't be replicated with the correct approach, getting
Absolutely.
the actor or actress in the right mindset and to be able to block out a shot appropriately. But it's like that was more impactful on multiple viewings than the goriest gore, and that is probably one of the goriest movies of the 2000s in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it's pretty intense. Yeah.
It was up there before like the Evil Dead remake as far as the amount of blood and stuff they had used just because of
I
that
feel like
pool scene.
Yeah, in recent memory, I think the two goriest movies in the last 20 years have been the Evil Dead remake and Piranha 3D. I think are the two goriest
Yeah, I think
movies.
you nailed it.
Dude, Piranha 3D is like
Oh,
out
it
of
is.
control how much blood they used in that movie.
Blood, they're
Like-
throwing body parts, literally throwing body parts at people. You're going through outboard motors. The girl that gets just her whole face and everything chopped up, the front of her.
Yeah, dude,
The-
when her scalp gets pulled off.
Oh, I
boat
hate
show.
that scene. I love it and hate it at the same time, because the first time you're watching it, you're not expecting them to be like, oh, they're going to cut the camera away. Oh, they're going to do. No, it's like scalp's gone. Boom.
Oh, and then
and
Eli
just,
Roth gets the top of his head crunched with the boats, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, yes.
Well, it's like Alexandra Aja knows like what people want of like, how can I ensue so much mayhem
Well, and
into a 90-minute
his movies are
frame.
outrageously gory, because I mean, even
Oh
like
yeah.
High
The Hills
Tension
Have Eyes?
is out of control. Hills Have
yeah,
Eyes.
it is.
Mirrors. I went back and rewatched Mirrors recently, and the girl gets her jaw ripped open in the bathtub. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Ah."
Yep.
Just
But
amazing stuff.
There's those moments that just stick with you right there. And I mean,
Absolutely.
there's nothing wrong with the 2000s movies at all.
There's
know,
so many good ones.
I mean, it was one of those things that were like, just imagine being a director or writer in the 2000s going, how do we change the genre? How do we make our generation be, stand up against the slashers, the classic, Italian horror, the zombies, even into the 90s, where I feel like the 90s got a bit more silly because it was just nothing but sequel.
Yeah.
Sequel.
90s was such an awkward era in general because
it was for everything,
like,
even for action movies. Trust me, I
yeah,
know.
it's just an odd time for film. And then the early 2000s, it's the weird transition from practical to CGI and like how they were handling that. But
Yeah.
also studios were throwing filmmakers money.
They were.
Yeah.
They
Make
were,
a horror movie for like 10 million.
because it was
That's insane.
they made money at it. I mean, 10 million's nothing. To Hollywood, that's what they consider independent movie is, anything under $20 million, we're going to make 50, 60 off of. So that's just money in the bank. So yeah, throw out some horror movies. They're not going to get the same play as the PG-13 superhero movies, but we're going to make good profit off of.
And I
Yeah, and
feel
that's
like in the 2000s, I think they were trying to, because I think they realized Scream did so well. I know what you did last summer did so well, and some of these like whodunit kind of teeny bopper type horror movies were doing great.
Yeah.
But I feel like they wanted to make them like an old Hammer movie. They wanted to make them kind of schlocky and kind of gory,
Yeah.
like 80s, and they're like, how can we combine the two? And so you had this weird era from like 1998 to like 2005 where they were making so many movies that were like, very stylish and very very drama oriented, but also very like graphic and gory, because it's like, again, 13 Ghosts is one I always go back to because I forget how graphic that movie is
It's
until I go back and
Oh,
extremely
watch
it's
it.
graphic.
super.
It's
Yeah.
super gory, especially the opening scene at
The junkyard.
the junkyard. I almost said graveyard, which is what it was after.
It turns
that scene.
into one.
It really does.
But like you go back and you watch that, and it's like, man, this is insane. But it's like it feels like, and it is a remake of an old movie.
It
But
is.
when you watch it, it feels like just a modernized version of that, and they did it so well. Same with Ghost Ship, and I always say like,
God, I
even
love
though it's
that
kind of
opening
goofy and
scene.
silly, but like Bride of Chucky, man, that movie is. I think it's the best of the Child's Play Chucky series, in my opinion.
I'll agree with that. I mean, you
it-
can't like discount where it started, but to where it
No.
is. I think what I look at the 2000s is I think they were, how do we make horror movies sexy?
Yes.
That's kind of
That's it.
where
That's
it
why
went.
it was the MTV generation.
Yeah,
like,
because
was.
you always had like the good looking girls or the good looking guys in the 80s, but what they did was they took the movie itself and made it sexy.
Yes.
It was polished, but there was still a ton of gore because
Well,
they
and that's
knew
what-
what was going to sell the movie.
That's what blew me away, because Nate brought up Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, which was one of my earlier horror movies that I actually saw, because I rented it from the library and I didn't know it was a remake. I didn't know I was just like,
Right, yeah.
whoa, it's a movie of the chainsaw and dude hacks people up, like, hell yeah. Everyone in that movie is like, everyone is hot. Like everybody in that movie
Yeah.
is literally so hot. And you're watching this and you're like, man, these people are way too attractive for like what this movie is, because the movie was also filmed very beautifully, but everything you're seeing on screen is so grimy and nasty, and that contrast was like unbelievable. But you
Yeah.
like, you go and you watch a movie like, and I always bring up like, Urban Legend or Valentine, for example, and it's like you have people that look like they're supermodels or they're, video stars or whatever in horror scenarios, and it's like it was, and I feel like again, Scream is kind of one of the movies that kind of started
Oh,
that,
it
but
definitely
It
did
totally did. Yeah.
you,
relaunch it.
yeah,
And
so
now we're
I
in
feel
this
like
weird,
how
like,
many movies had like, a rapper or an R&B or a pop
oh,
star
yeah,
artist?
you had to.
Everything had that,
Yeah.
it's just it's crazy.
Was it Exhibit was in that Halloween Resurrection, I think?
No, that was Busta Rhymes.
Oh, was it
Busta
Busta
Rhymes.
Rhymes?
Busta
Okay.
Rhymes.
God, that movie's bad.
It is so bad, and
Yeah.
I think you nailed it. They were trying to make everything sexy because they always had those like, I mean, there's almost never a lot of nudity, but there were so many like pretty explicit sex scenes because the way they filmed it, everyone's all like
Yep.
oiled up and stuff, and it's just like it borderline uncomfortable to watch. But it's like everything had to be, like you said, polished and beautiful, and everything had just this look to it. And I feel
Yeah.
like that's when horror started to become more cinematic. Because I feel like
Yeah.
up to this point, it's like a horror movie was a horror movie. It was what it was. Some of them were artsy or some of them weren't. But it's like this is the point where like film in general was like, polished and nice. But like in the early 2000s when they started doing stuff filmed digitally rather than film and all that, and it's like you had CGI and you had money to build big elaborate sets, and like movies were getting more money than they ever had. So they were making things a little bit more polished. But I think horror specifically, this was the time where it was being taken more seriously. And producers were like, hey, there's something to this.
Yeah.
And now you have horror movies that are being made, like, It, for example, gets a huge budget and then ends up making quadruple what it was even made for, and it's just, I feel like this was the era in which it was being taken seriously and people were putting money into it and taking the time to polish it and make it look good. And I mean, they're not all hits because there's
No. I
plenty
mean,
of B movies because this is direct to video blockbuster era too, so it's like there's
Yep.
a ton of schlocky nonsense.
How can you fill up the Blockbuster shelves, basically?
Yeah,
That's
pretty
what it
much.
was. Like, what can you do? Which now we just have Tubi. You
Yeah,
know?
Tubi is
We've got-
literally blockbuster.
we've got Shudder
today.
now too.
Yeah, and
Shudder,
Shudder
yeah.
as well. And then like even with what you're saying, like Blumhouse has found a way of like we could still make low budget and make ginormous hits album to where it's like if one of them fails, it's no big deal. The next one down the pipeline is gonna make 100 million and we made it on $1 million budget. Like
Yeah.
a $99 million profit, like that's insane.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's crazy to me, and I think about it a lot because even in the films that I work on, I look at the sets we build and the stuff we're planning and the things we do, and I'm just like, we are literally doing what like Wes Craven and George Romero and John Carpenter were doing like back in the 80s.
in the
We're doing
60s and
that
70s.
right now, and we have close to the same budgets they would have had at that time period,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
And
like,
they didn't have Google. They didn't have YouTube.
And,
They didn't have any of this
with-
extra stuff we have.
Yeah, and with what we do today, I think of a company like Blumhouse or even like A24 and stuff. They're like, we're gonna make this movie for like between $3 to $6 million, and the studio is gonna buy it, and then it's gonna end up making a crap load of money, and it's like, and all those directors and producers go on to do bigger things. I mean, the director of Annihilation did Ex Machina at one point, and it's like, I'm just like, you go from doing Ex Machina, which was an amazing movie, to turn around and doing Annihilation, which was a huge studio production. It's crazy. And so when you think about, I think the guys who run Blumhouse, Jason Blum and all those guys, they were, in the indie scene at one point or another, just like, myself and all the people I work with. They know how to stretch a dollar. If you gave the people I'm working with right now, if you gave us $1 million, we could totally make a movie of that stature, because it's like we have the resources and we've always had to stretch the dollar. So
Yeah.
imagine what we could do with that. You know, I
It would
think people are
feel
a lot more wise now with YouTube and things like that. Anyone can go on YouTube and learn to do what I do. You can. You can
Yeah.
pay to take a master class through the Stan Winston School and learn to do what I do. It takes time, it takes skill, patience, and it does cost money, but it can be done. You can go on YouTube right now and learn how to build a film set. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you need to build a Western town? Where here's how you can do it in your garage by, you know, using foam to build, you know, a wooden jail front, you know, blah blah whatever,
Any
and film
any
film
wall
from this
set you
angle.
need.
And
Yeah.
it's like, you know, all the tools of the trade, where, you know, back in the 80s you had to be in it to do it. Nowadays, you know, with Indiegogo, with YouTube, with master classes, anybody can learn to do any of it. It's not difficult, and all of the tricks, all the secrets, it's all out for anybody to get.
And like with you working with lower budget, you have to get more creative
Mm-hmm.
basically. Because now like you have to use wherever you're filming, you're on set, on location, like how can we utilize this to our budget?
Yeah.
Utilize this to make an impact in the scene. And then what's even more crazy is, can you imagine in the 1960s if you were to give George Romero my iPhone right now and what he'd be able to do with it, you know?
Yeah.
Like you be able to build a set in your garage and shoot it with my phone, you can come up with insane quality. Like it's just
Absolutely.
crazy. And then you've got these kids on TikTok that are editing masters at like 14, where you see
Mhm.
stuff where they have a continuous like loop, and it's just like, you guys have a potential in an editing career because you know, and you have the patience and the skill set already there with a click
And
of a
I
button.
feel like editing is such a difficult thing, and there's such an art to it. And I feel like it's definitely not my cup of tea. It's not something I like doing. But I feel like when you look at an editing program, and I don't know all the ins and outs of that, but a lot of the stuff that, say, an editing program you'd use to edit, you know, a huge Hollywood movie, like let's say the new Scream movie, whatever program they use to edit that, what you're using on Instagram to edit a video, or on your phone, or on TikTok, it's just that dumbed down to the most basic,
Oh yeah.
most primitive thing. And it's like, if you can master that, it's the same principle of give someone the ability to break it down to a millisecond and have all these channels for sound effects, music, ambient
Yeah.
noise, and all this other stuff. And it's like, there's so much potential. And I feel like media has totally consumed our lives in the way we take this stuff in. You know, we've enjoyed movies since movies have been a thing. You know, but then you start telling people, well, now you can buy a camcorder and use it at home. And people start making home movies, and people start making movies in their backyard. And it's like, now, you know, I can go out and I can buy a red Komodo, and it's like, red cameras is what they use to film Marvel stuff. You know, so you can buy a red Komodo for $8,000. That's a lot of money, but it's like,
But if
dude,
that's what
once
you
it's
want to
bought
do, yeah.
and
Yeah.
you add
If-
some lenses to it, you're filming on that level of quality.
Yeah.
And
just
it's
a little
like,
bit of patience. That's all it takes. If
it
you
takes
just have that
patience,
little
and
bit
you
of
gotta
patience to
wanna
learn.
do it, you know. And
Yeah.
I think
And
it's the big thing right now is to make content, whether it's on Twitch streaming, or whether it's on TikTok or Instagram or Snapchat, whatever it is. It's like content creation is the in thing. And it's like, what I do with these films is a form of content creation, just on a whole different level. It's not something we're doing for free or to be an influencer. It's something we're trying to make a product that can be sold, that we can make money on, and that will help us, you know, build careers, so that, you know, someday I can join a union and do film on bigger things, you know. And it's just on a whole nother level. And it blows me away how many of those people aren't getting into film, you know, because some of them are just like, oh, it's just something I do for fun. But I'm like,
Well,
you could do so much with that, though.
but you're also the flip side of that is now you have the content that's for 30 seconds of consumption, a
Oh, yeah.
minute of consumption. So there's going to be those
The
people that
attention spans are,
yeah.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
like I don't think like when Fortnite was getting really big, I thought for sure it's like you should turn this into a GI Joe cartoon. But it was like no kid is going to sit there for 22 minutes or a half hour after commercials. Like it needs to be 4 minutes max on YouTube. And even then now it's like, well, 3 minutes max on TikTok. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
I think a lot about cartoons now. One of my favorite cartoons, because I never stopped watching cartoons. Everyone's like, "Oh, not really." And I'm like, "Dude, I
Nah,
watch
never.
cartoons.
I
Still
always watch
I
cartoons.
watch them all the time." One of my favorites is The Amazing World of Gumball. Okay,
fantastic.
I
I am
love
familiar.
Gumball, and those episodes are only like
10 minutes?
7 to 10 minutes
Yeah.
long.
That's it.
And
That's
same
it.
with Axe Cop. I loved Axe Cop when that dropped, and those episodes are literally 5 minutes. And it's like I want more because it's like I grew up with 22 to 30-minute cartoons.
Yeah.
It's like now kids are satisfied with, a 3 to 5 minute episode of something, and I'm like, but that's not
And they
it.
don't have to. They don't have to sit through commercials. So my
Yeah.
kids watch all that
They
stuff
can
They
fast
don't.
forward it.
Yeah.
And
I
I
mean-
think a lot about with that because it's such a crazy thing because it's like our media intake, we're being trained to take things in small increments.
Yeah.
But yet you have all these Marvel movies that are coming out that are 2.5, 3 to 4 hours long.
The new Batman's going to be
people
3
love it.
hours.
And
Yeah.
people love it. And it's like when I watched the Snyder cut of Justice League, I sat there and I was like, man, it doesn't feel like I just sat there for like 5 hours and watched
No.
that.
No, it didn't.
felt fine. With Spider-Man No Way Home. Like when it was done, I was like, that could have been a half hour longer and I would have been fine with it.
Yeah.
And it seems like people are cool with it. And I think it just comes down to people, I think, are getting better at recognizing, oh, this is just a short video, or I'm not going to see a cinematic experience. Because I feel like a few years ago, I was very concerned about the future of film because I'm like, is it going to get to the point where it's like all we're going to get is like short films and we go to the theater to see a short film? Is that what it's going to be?
Going back
is
to
this
those serials, the little 20, 30-minute movies that you had to go and follow the next episode in a month when it drops in the theaters.
For real, I was starting to question it if it was going to get to that. And I'm like, man, I don't hate the idea, but it's like I like long movies. So it's like now that it seems like people are super okay with going to the theater for a 3-hour cinematic experience, I think it's really cool.
Well, the other
even
side,
studios were afraid of it because they're like, oh, now we can't play it as much if it's a 3-hour long movie. But it's like, but people are going to keep going.
but
Yeah,
here's
Yeah,
the
and
thing.
Endgame proved that.
Yeah, we're talking about people wanting to consume smaller and smaller, but how many people binge watch an entire season of a television show now? How many people are actually mad that now that they're trying to slow it down for a weekly release so they keep those subscribers? They're like, no, give me all of season 10. I'm going to watch it this Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Those people are the ones that can sit through a 3-hour movie.
Well, and
They
I
can sit
think
through a 4-hour
Disney-
movie.
I think Disney's doing a really good job of like
Spacing it out. I
spacing it
love
out
it.
because like Book
Yeah.
of Boba Fett and like all their Marvel stuff, it's like it's episodic and they're not dropping it all at once. And I think it's kind of teaching people to be a little bit more patient.
I
'Cause,
like
like, when-
looking forward to it. That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
big
Like,
when
thing
a
for
new-
me.
Today,
When-
I was like, I can't wait to get off work. That way I can go watch Boba.
Yes,
all I want.
And when a new episode of when a new season of Cobra Kai drops, they drop it like, here it is, and then people are like, wow, I just binged the whole thing yesterday, and I was like,
Guilty.
hey, when do you have the time to do that?
We did
And
it
like
Saturdays.
B,
like
I
2
can't,
evenings. Yeah.
I cannot do it. Like even when because I get into anime a little bit, and it's like, everyone's complaining about like the new season of Demon Slayer because it's episodic because of how it's currently being released in Japan.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, I want to watch all of it, and I'm like, I mean, yeah, but isn't it kind of exciting waiting for that next episode? Like, I love that anticipation, and it's I see it a lot with the Netflix stuff is people complain about the Disney stuff being like, oh, I wish Book of Boba Fett they just dropped the whole thing, or Cobra Kai then being like, oh, I'm ready for the next season. I was like, bro, they haven't even written it yet. Like you binge that whole thing in a day. Like
Yeah.
it takes 8 months.
Now
to
you gotta
film
wait
that
a year and a
entire
half.
Season.
But now go to that same person that binged all of Cobra Kai and go, okay, what was episode 3 then? Which one? Who was it? What was going
Yeah.
on in episode 3?
Once again,
You
that's
don't
me.
know. Yeah. Because you watched it as one giant episode
Yes.
instead of oh, did you see last week's Boba Fett? It was better than the week before when all this happened. And I mean, it's just a
It
different
gives
way.
you more time to process everything.
Yeah, I think you need to be able to appreciate what you're consuming. And I am guilty of binging. I do it, but I'm also like, thank you for not giving me the opportunity to binge watch the entire season of something. But I grew up, I'm older than both of you, but I had Saturday morning cartoons. When they were episodic cartoons, you waited an entire week. And then when the season was over, you didn't see shit till the next year to find out if it even got picked up, because you're also like, what happened to that show? It was called Pirates of Dark Water. I didn't get any kind of completion out of it, and it's gone forever. Yeah. There's no internet forum. There's no, sign a petition to bring this back. And so now I can kind of like watch my kids go, yeah, there's not another episode till next week. What do you mean? There's no episode till next. They're all like freaking out. And I'm like, yeah, see, this is what I lived through. Enjoy it. Deal with it.
Toy Story 2, like, oh, another, like, that's it. There's no more.
There's no more episodes. It's gone, But I'll agree. I enjoy watching like Teen Titans Go. It's probably my favorite show the kids watch. And it's 30 minutes, but there's like 2 or 3 blocks of an episode in there. So each one is only like 10 minutes, if that long.
That show gets a lot of unnecessary hate.
I love it.
I love it.
I think it's smarter than anyone gives it credit for. I laugh at stuff that my kids are like, what was funny about that? And, The Night Begins to Shine will be forever the greatest episode of any cartoon ever, with the greatest song ever. So guys, we're into this a little over an hour. So I think we got a few Q&As we want to hit, Deryk, because we've gone into the history of the 2000s, and I dig this a lot.
I tell you, I love talking about the entertainment industry as a whole and how much it's changed over the years.
Well, and you're in it, so I like
so it's cool to see your perspective.
And my perspective is kind of strange, just because it's like I'm such a huge fan of all this stuff. I'm also doing it and trying to make it. So it's like I'm in the indie scene where we're actively trying to keep up, but also forge a new path. So it's
I dig that. Yeah.
It's such a weird place to be with it. So I love kind of analyzing how it's changed, how it's continuing to change, and what we can do on an independent level to stand out and make a difference. Because I truly believe people are reaching a point with Hollywood and with mainstream media that indie film and the stuff I'm working on is the big thing. Because so many people have Shudder right now. So many people have Netflix and are watching independent productions that are $5 million or less that they're being made for, and they're becoming huge fans of this stuff. And I truly think it's the future. So being involved with it and recognizing, okay, let's not lose this ground. Let's pay attention to what's going on up top, and how can we forge our own path and continue to evolve with the media as it evolves, because everything moves so quickly. So it is fun analyzing it and talking about it. I think it's it's
interesting. You imagine being the person that made a found footage movie during the same time as Paranormal Activity, but it beat you to the punch.
Oh, dude!
Because you're in a race
often
to try to be that next clever thing, and the next thing you know, it's just like, well, shit. Now people think I'm riding the curtails of that. And then the mid 2000s, 2010 to probably 2014 was nothing but found footage horror movies.
And I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. Found footage horror is probably one of my favorite subgenres. And the Wreck franchise is the best horror franchise like ever.
I like the Wreck.
All 4 of those movies are awesome, but I'm also going to say it.
But even
Cloverfield rules. Yeah. I don't even care.
Dude,
Cloverfield is awesome.
I don't understand.
Didn't get enough love.
I don't understand.
I'm not the biggest found footage guy, but when it is used properly and effectively, it's incredible. The cult segment
feels like you're watching something that happened. Like,
that feels like it's a news thing.
Scale.
Yeah. The cult segment from VHS2
Yes.
is one of the best horror segments in the last 15 years.
I totally agree.
No,
You
I
just
think so.
have to use it just right.
Yeah.
When it was oversaturated, what was it, like Apollo 18 or something like that? Like
Oh,
you got a lot of those cheap like studios were just cashing in on it,
for
obviously.
sure. But that's
And then
why I like Wreck
33
so
or
much.
something
Is
like
the
that
first
came
2
out.
Wreck
Yeah.
films.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well,
Last year
Rec
we
even did
watched
good
one.
enough to get Quarantine,
Yeah,
which
the
was the
remake.
American redo, and actually that was pretty dang decent to watch too.
It
I
wasn't
liked the
bad. It was
American
pretty
one.
solid. Yeah.
I mean,
Last
for doing it, yeah. Go ahead,
on
Nate.
Shudder last year, Host came out. It was made
Yeah,
during the pandemic, and it was all done just like we're on a webcam,
You
and
know
it
what's
was
funny?
fantastic.
I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna plug my buddy Marcus real quick and Fuzz on the Lens and all those guys. Before Host dropped, my friend Marcus made a movie called Dark Offerings, and it was filmed utilizing social
Zoom.
distancing and during the quarantine and all that stuff. But Host hit Shudder before they finished their movie, so Dark Offerings is out now, and you can check it out and rent it, buy it on Amazon.
I'm writing it
Yeah.
down.
So Dark Offerings, yes. So everyone, please check out Dark Offerings.
yeah. We'll
A
get a
lot of
link to
friends
that
are
one
involved
too.
with
Put it
making
in the
that.
group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
But
stuff.
you really
I mean,
are
it's-
just like racing against each other.
They are,
and
and it's like, here's the deal: if you have an idea for something, what is it? Scientific statistics. There's like 10 other people in the world that are having the same thought you are right now.
which
It's-
one of you 10 people is actually going to go for it first?
Exactly. So, it just so happens when you're in the film industry, those 10 people make a bigger difference than of the billions in the whole world because there's less people doing movies. So the odds are a script I'm writing right now, there's probably 2 other people that have the idea. So it's
This has been going on since even
Yeah.
with the underwater monster movie movement of the 80s,
Yep.
they were like, "Oh, you're doing one too?" And there was like 6 movies that came out within a year span, and they're all like, "Who can get out there first?" And then it was
Yes.
whoever was the better stayed out, and obviously Cameron
Leviathan?
stuck it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Deep Star 6.
They came out like the same year, like months apart, and they're like the same freaking movie.
Also not far behind James Cameron's the name just left
The Abyss.
The Abyss.
Yep.
Yeah. All this all at the same time. And then you still had Humanoids of the Deep. You had all these like underwater movies, and it was like, do you guys not talk to each other at all?
Right?
Do you
Like there's not
know
a
each
friend
other?
that's working
Well,
on
I'll
the
tell you what
crew of another
happens.
one.
There's people, producers, writers, and stuff that are friends and talk about stuff, and someone's like,
Oh, that's a good idea.
and I'm gonna change this, and this, and then it's an original
Yeah.
idea. We're good to go.
What?
It's
Is
Well,
it okay if I copy your homework real quick?
yeah.
That's been a thing in the action movies too.
Hey, Mom,
It's
can we
like,
have Leviathan? No, we have Leviathan at home. Leviathan at home, Deep Star 6. Like,
don't
that's
you
literally...
dare say it like that. I love Deep Star 6. It was my first R-rated monster movie I watched.
I love Deep Star 6. Don't get me wrong, but like,
Leviathan does have a little bit better provenance to it. I'll give it
I mean,
that.
they're both great, but it's like that is what it was like. But yeah, no, I love talking about how the game has changed over the years, and especially in the last 22. So yeah, it's just amazing kind of thinking about it,
Yeah.
and even in the last 5 to 10 years, how much has changed, and discussing that is
Well,
always a really good time.
I'm
So,
gonna
Especially-
hold on. I'm gonna hurt both your feelings here real quick.
oh boy.
We're
Uh-oh.
talking about movies in the early 2000s, right?
Yep.
This is
Yes.
the same as if we were in the 80s talking about movies of the late 50s, early 60s. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm unfriending you on
equivalent.
Facebook for that. So.
Well, this interview's come to a close. Thanks everybody
Yeah.
for tuning in.
Well, we're gonna wrap it up now, but no, yes, we have some Q&A questions that I'm very excited to answer.
Yeah,
I love
let's do that because we
doing this.
digressed real quick when I tried to steer the ship a minute
Instantly.
ago.
When I posted about this, we
Yeah.
got 2 questions right out the gate. How big is the body count to Lake Checkout? You don't have to give us a
It's-
number, but is it big?
It's big. I mean, it's not like there's over 50 or something like that. But
Oh,
it's
no,
like,
no.
I
Because we want
think-
quality over quantity.
I
also think it depends
there's
on how many people click that tier, because if
Yeah.
we can
yeah,
get
how
killed
many
by
people are gonna
Derek,
buy an on-screen death? We'll
we
see.
can bump
Um,
up this body count again. We can
5 gallons of
control.
blood.
5 gallons.
We can
Honestly, I
control
think
parts of this movie.
there's 17 or 18.
That's
wanna
huge
say
for horror.
That's pretty big,
That's
though.
huge
There's a
for
pretty
horror.
good chunk. I think including the planned on-screen deaths, I think there's between 18 and 20, somewhere in there.
Nate, we're gonna have an awesome Raining Blood for the show. When
We are
actually
going
get
to
review the
Can't wait till we
movie.
get to review this.
Yeah, I mean, now
Yeah.
given that could change, because again, if people don't buy the perks for the on-screen death, are we going to keep that scene? Potentially. We might not. I don't know how he plans on going about that, but I do not think there's under 16. 16,
Come
I
on,
think,
people.
is the baseline you're guaranteed to see.
all right,
how
people,
many
this is up to you
movies-
to make it to
yeah.
20. And then
This
if
is-
they don't, kill Derek on screen.
Yeah, kill me on screen. That'd be
Yeah.
fun.
So we have two goals here, everybody. We need 5 gallons of blood, which we got to talk about that tier later, but we got to add to the body count here. I want
Yes.
them to go, we're out of what we wrote down. We got to come up with some cool ones, because I want digit removal. I want all
Now,
kinds of
here's
cool
my
shit.
thing, though. That I believe that's the people you see die on screen. That's not including the like missing people posters.
Oh, yeah.
The
There's always
newscasts
that.
talk about people that have already
Yeah,
died.
that kind of ups it in
We-
the
we don't-
It's
background.
got me thinking. Like
We
if-
don't count
if-
that in our body
if-
counts, though.
If James Janice on Dead Meat was watching this movie, would he count those as dead bodies? Probably not. So
Yeah.
it's
We-
like, does
we
it
don't
really
hear.
count towards the body
Yeah.
count? Probably no. So
You're,
that's
you're
always
set,
my
you're
aspect is, would James count them? If yes, that's on the body count. So
we don't even really count the killer, because almost always the killer comes back,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have to count the victims of how they die. Now in action movies, we count the bad guy because he dead. He got blown up by a
totally.
rocket or in a tank or something. But horror movies, Jason always comes back.
The
Freddy
bad
always
guy
comes
from
back.
True Lies is actually going to come back from the rocket
Oh,
explosion.
yeah, he got shot through the building
Okay,
into the
so
helicopter.
it's funny. I'm actually writing True Lies Part 2. I just
I'm
gotta
in.
find a producer
Done.
to do it.
True
for me,
Lies
so,
Revenge.
I'm in. Let's go. Let's do it.
yeah.
with the
pretty-
We'll make
Today's
Tom
social
Arnold the
media-
hero.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's do that. Tom Arnold is going to be at a convention down here close to me this year.
All right, we're going to pitch it. Get
It's
that
going to be a
script written, Derek. Now we can give it to
Smoky
Tom
Mountain-
Arnold.
Smoky Mountain Fan Fest. We are getting Tom Arnold. That's going to be
Yes.
pretty awesome.
All right. Well, I got to finish my script and get it to him, and hopefully he buys
Let-
into
let-
it.
All right,
Let's
how
work
about
on
this? You just draw a bunch of explosions, and then we'll shoot the notebook a couple times. That way it's got bullet holes in it, and then we're good to go.
Yes,
That's right.
I
And then just
love
write
it.
starring Tom Arnold. We'll have
Yeah.
him sign it, and that's kind of a pseudo contract. So
It
there we
is.
go.
Yeah, he doesn't
It is.
realize it.
All right, Nate, let's get this Q&A going.
Yeah,
Let's do some more.
Oh my God.
Our
we keep getting
buddy
distracted.
Pete-
It's okay though.
Our buddy Pete from Good Beer Bad Movie Night, who's also on the network, asks, "Is your fake blood an old family recipe?"
Yes and no. It is a modified version of the Dick Smith recipe. It is a recipe that I got from Gary Tunnicliffe, who did makeup for the Collector films. He did makeup for Hellraiser 4 through the most recent. He even directed Judgment.
Ooh,
But
wow.
it's his blood recipe that I use. I'd tell you, but I would have to kill you.
No, we're not here to get the
Oh.
recipes. But I will say,
Not
are
giving
you
it
a-
away. But yes, it is. It's kind of an old family recipe.
I want to add to that though. It now makes me go, do you prefer the darker blood reds, or do you like the bright cherry blood red? Or does it depend on the type of movie?
It depends on the type of movie. It depends on the scene and then the lighting, because the lighting can kind of change how it's seen.
Yeah.
I like my blood when it lays in a pool to look maroon, like a
Mhm.
almost a red, deep red, almost black.
Okay.
But when it's smeared on the skin, I like it to be an orangish red.
See,
So
I
it's-
like I like the thought of I like my arterial spray to be a pretty bright red,
Yeah.
but anything abdominally, like especially around the liver, that has to be like darker, because that's what your
Yeah.
blood actually is around
Yeah,
there, is
so
a lot
I try
darker.
to keep it as medium as possible, but it's like if I do like a cut on someone's forehead and it's like real fresh blood, then I'll use a lighter orangish red. If it's a throat cut, I try to use something kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
If someone's getting gutted, I try to keep it dark, almost black. It just depends
I
on
dig that.
what kind of clothing it's going to be on, what kind of lighting is it.
Well, yeah, because
The
you don't want it
person's
looking
skin
like,
tone has a lot to do with
yeah,
it too.
you don't
Yeah.
want it looking like just an ink blot or something. You know, it's
Exactly.
got to
So
read as blood. So I get that. But, you know, Nate, next
I love
question.
Yes.
colorful ones. That's all me. Like,
Nate's like, I
Oh, yeah.
want pink
I want to talk about
and
blood. Yeah, like I have
purple.
grown to just love the color pink, and a lot of it too is like pink is to me like the color of intestines. Like that's the color of your insides, and it's gross. And like Deryk will enjoy this. The Death album Leprosy, that thing is just drenched in pink, and I
Yes.
love it. Like
It's
to
one of my
me,
favorite
it's an
album covers.
underappreciated metal like color. So
Yeah, no,
to me,
pink
the
is
Well, yeah,
more
'cause it's
random colors
pink.
you can give me is
pinks
awesome.
and purples. Pink
Yeah.
and purples together. Purple's my favorite color.
Same.
So anything pink and purple, I go nuts for that stuff.
Yep.
I mean, you
There
can
we go.
see the artwork on my wall behind me. There's lots of purples and pinks and stuff like
Well,
that. So it's my
well,
thing.
our favorite thing of the movie From Beyond was the pinks and purple
Oh
hues
yeah,
that
It's
that movie
incredible.
does.
absolutely.
I love it as a lighting effect for sure.
From
And
Beyond is just purple reanimator. That's all it is.
it is, but you
Yeah.
know, it's
I love
I
it
think it's
though.
even.
I
love
love
them.
that movie. The colors, so good.
Yeah.
It's ooey gooey goodness, and I love that. Sometimes you don't always need 5 gallons of blood, but you need 10 gallons of KY jelly and slime.
That is very. That
That's
is
what makes
super
up for
correct.
blood.
Yes.
Hit us with another
So-
one, Nate.
We
Yes.
got how did you guys get the ball rolling on Indiegogo? And do you recommend using it? I'm gonna go ahead and assume you do recommend using it because you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
are killing
So
it.
I recommend Indiegogo over any other fundraising thing because Indiegogo, if you hit your goal, you get the money. If you don't hit your goal, you get the money. If you go
Right.
over, you get the money no matter what.
Yeah.
So no matter what,
think-
it gets you in the right ballpark to get the thing
yeah.
rolling.
Whereas
I-
Kickstarter, you don't hit it, you don't get it.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
something that a lot of people don't realize with some of these, fundraisers. If they don't take your money right away, it may not happen. I know
Yeah.
Indiegogo, when you do your tier, you have bought that tier because that
Correct.
money
And-
is in that account to go. Yeah.
Exactly. And I feel like with like GoFundMe, that's more of a donation thing. People aren't getting
Yeah.
anything in return. So people won't usually donate to that. Indiegogo is very user friendly. The format is great. I like using it. But how we got the ball rolling was simply once we had cast and crew together, we all got a group together and we talked and we're like, what are some cool ideas for perks? What are some perks we've seen before that we've liked? What are perks we've bought ourselves? What is a perk we would buy as a consumer?
Yep.
And it's like, all right, well, we have Hannah Fairman. So it's like, we'll do headshots and we'll do Blu-ray copies of VHS, have her sign them. We have Felissa Rose, get a photo of her from Sleepaway Camp to sign. We have LC Holt from Your Next, so get a picture of him from Your Next and sign.
Yep.
And it's like just little stuff like that. So it's like definitely cater to the fans of the characters you have in your movie, but also make unique perks that relate to your film. And honestly, it might sound silly, but the more gimmicky, the better, because people go nuts for that stuff.
They do. They love all the goofy stuff. But one of my favorites you guys are doing, and we talked about this when we were talking last week planning
Mhm.
this, was getting the movie poster signed by the cast.
Yeah, and that was something we brought up because we all do cons. And on our
how
thing,
hard
it's-
is it to get everyone onto a
it is
movie poster?
So hard. Because I showed you guys my movie posters and they're
Yeah.
like covered in signatures.
Yeah.
And for us, it's $40. You get an 11x17 poster. It's signed by the whole cast and crew. You're getting celebrity signatures on that you can't get for $40 at a con.
Exactly.
And it's like the amount of signatures you're getting, the people you're getting. It's like, when are you ever going to find all of us at cons to get an entire poster signed?
Some don't even
in
do
your
cons.
area.
Some don't even do cons.
Yeah, that's
even in
another
the
big
area.
thing.
It's
Yeah.
like, it's like if you buy something I work on and it's not signed by me, you hit me up on Facebook, you send it to me, I'm going to sign it and send it back to you. I do
yeah.
it all the time. But it's like, with how spread out these people are, they don't always do the same events, and it would be so hard to pull off. So investing $40 and getting that, like, you're never going to be able to get all those signatures on it unless it's all of us there on set. So that's always a big thing.
I think that's probably that's probably going to be the one I do, because I've been like watching all of the things, and actually I was about ready to click it, and Indiegogo freaked out on me the other day, wouldn't let me click anything. So I was like, I'll wait. Yeah, I think it was an Indiegogo thing, not your guys's.
Yeah, I mean, they do get a little bit goofy sometimes.
They do, but man, they have like I said, I've backed several things on it. I fully support Indiegogo, and anything we may do in the future is going to be through Indiegogo as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, those perks are huge.
Yeah, I've been a part of so many projects that have used Indiegogo. I've been involved with projects that have been wildly successful, and I've been a part of projects that have had multiple campaigns that have not hit goal. But no matter what, we've always gotten the money, and the fans have always gotten the perks that they've wanted, and there's always updates and things. So I think it is a great resource, and I cannot recommend it enough.
Perfect.
Nice. Awesome.
Nate, hit us with another one. If there is another one.
Last shield down. How can you even see? How is he supposed to stab people?
Oh, on the welding helmet.
We talked about this
yes.
with the mask. The mask, the visor's not down on it, so you can actually see his eyes. So yeah, the shield is not actually down on the mask, so you can see through the little window.
And this is I wanted to get to this point because this is what drew me the most to this movie when Nate was sharing the stuff to me. I was like, oh, the killer has a welding mask on. Mm-hmm. I got immediate Exterminator and Exterminator 2 vibes via Canon movies, because yes, absolutely. I am predominantly the action guy, but I was like, ooh, a killer with one of those with a painted on smiley face. I was like, and so I had already asked Deryk, and he goes, yeah, that was a pretty big influence for us to choose that particular killer mask.
The idea we want to give is the killer in this movie, without giving too much away.
Yeah, don't spoil nothing. But
he's not supernatural. He's not adjacent. It's literally just a guy. So it's like we definitely want him, like the actor playing Matt Hammond. He has tattoos and stuff, and it's like he's got this sweet ass mustache and stuff, and it's like, but like we didn't want it to be like some supernatural thing. I mean, he's just a dude, and it's like, what would be an easy thing to grab just at your disposal out in the garage or something like that? Grab a welding mask, put a little smiley face on there, just being goofy or whatever, and then hacking people up. And it kind of just adds to the element of like, hey, it's laid back. It's just a guy who got this stuff together and started hacking people up.
Well, we had talked about that. Sometimes that's the most terrifying thing, is not so much that it's a ghost
not knowing
or
that's
a monster.
Scream
it's your neighbor.
Scary to me growing up.
Yeah.
It's just two guys doing it, and it's like,
well, you don't even. I mean, the
it.
Scarier part was realizing it was two guys at the end. Like you're just thinking one crazy dude running around, then all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, this was planned. This was facilitated with two people trying to figure out this entire thing. And it's like, that's what made the impact of Scream and why we still have Scream going on now. But I love that kind of stuff where it's just the dude. It could be it's just the quiet. He's such a quiet guy. He always said hello in the morning.
It's a drifter who just showed up to town. It's your new neighbor. It's someone you've known for years. It could be anyone, because that's how it is in real life.
It's the dude checking in right after Deryk.
Do what?
It's the guy
checking in at the hotel right after Deryk brings in his corpse.
It is. And, but
good callback, Nate.
That's what makes it so scary. Those are the scary situations. I mean, you always hear stories about real life serial killers, and it's always like, oh, I never would have expected that it was this person, and then sure enough, that's the person that's got, 3 heads in his fridge, and, he's got digits that he's using as French fries.
Dude, I am well versed in that stuff because of my wife is addicted to those shows on television. And I won't even really be watching it, and then something like that will get said, and you're just like, holy shit, really? Like, this guy, it was a podiatrist, or he did this, and he's just, and he, ate people's intestines, or, it's just, we're an insane species. That's really
Yep.
what it is. And
Yep.
there are some of us that are a little bit more insane than others.
Absolutely. So the whole idea that it's just a guy, I think it's definitely
I dig it.
spooky. But again,
I'm
not
in
going
for
to give
that,
too
yeah.
much away. But
No.
yeah, it's the
No.
welding mask was a cool idea, I think, and it registers really nice on camera because you can see his eyes through it, but then the way it reflects lights and things like that.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
it's gonna
Can't wait.
it can kind of humanize him a little bit, but then
Mhm.
like you said, if you shoot it right, there's no eyes, so it's almost like there's some humanity, then it's dead eyes, then it's humanity, then it's dead
Yeah.
eyes. But Nate, how many more we got?
We got a couple more.
Okay, hit
A
us.
few of them we've already answered, like who did the gore effects. We're talking to him.
Yeah,
It was me.
he has a tear, so I
Yeah.
think we've covered
Hey, I
that.
heard if
So
you pay some money, I'll even kill you in the movie.
that's right, man. I mean, come
Yeah.
on.
Um,
When has Wes Craven ever allowed you to influence his movie kills? Come on. This is
Exactly. Come on.
groundbreaking
Exactly.
tier stuff here. Not since the He-Man redo from Canon where you won a contest and you got to be made up like Pig Boy have we had this kind of contest happening. Right? I threw in
And
another
this will
Canon
be
ref.
even more fun than being Pig Boy. I guarantee it.
I don't know, man.
Oh,
I think as a 10-year-old kid that I get to hang around with Dolph Lundgren
be
and
pretty sweet.
Skeletor and I'm in makeup.
I'm going
I'm
to
in-
quote this later on Facebook. Dying in a movie at the hands of Deryk Wehrley is more fun than being Pig Boy. And that's it.
Do
no
it.
context,
Yeah.
just
Perfect.
that. And people are going,
I-
what?
I
Yeah.
love that. And they're all going to be like, "Are you talking about the pig head thing from Saw?" And you're like, "No,
No.
not
Pig
that
Boy.
one."
It's
Pig
exactly
Boy.
what it sounds like, but not what you think it is.
Again, we are influencing everything about this movie, Nate, and I
I
am
love
loving
it.
it.
Let's keep this going. I like this one. What movies scare you?
Ooh, there's a good one.
That is a really good one. I find recently, I thought Hereditary was really scary because the performances, like, it felt so genuine watching that film. And it's like the grief and the pain and the horror of that film feels so real. I thought that movie was really spooky.
Gotta have me retry that one.
I like Hereditary a lot. Martyrs, but not because it's like scary, but it's like thinking of like going through the events of that film. I'm just like, oh, this is uncomfortable. And
Yeah,
So-
Martyrs is one I can only watch like once every 5 years.
yeah,
Like,
Martyrs is
it's
not
not.
a fun watch, but it's like
No,
for me, it's movies.
you need to see it.
Yeah, it's movies that are like jump scares. You can get anyone with a jump scare, but it's like for me, it's
Yeah.
stuff with atmosphere. I really like Ty West movies, so like The Innkeepers, I thought was like pretty spooky.
That was
and
a
I
good
like that.
one. Sacrament.
Sacrament was really really creepy. But also like Antichrist, the Lars von Trier film with Willem Dafoe.
Oh,
That
yeah.
movie was like made my skin crawl. But found footage stuff creeps me out because it's like, man, this could be real, and it's like obviously it's not. But you watch a movie like Cloverfield and it's like, holy crap, like if nobody knew about this and you just played it on TV back then, people would think it was real. It's like
Oh, that's War of the Worlds
a
all
War of the
over
Worlds
again, but
Yeah.
with
situation
video.
entirely.
Yeah.
And I love that. And those movies kind of creep me out. Movies like Wreck really get to me in quarantine because it's like a viral type thing. That stuff, anything
Oh, that stuff can't
apocalyptic,
happen. What are you talking
Nah,
about?
that won't
Viruses
happen at all.
and
Come
viral
on.
and
that'll
Pa-
never happen. Wait,
pandemic was invented by Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Just
yeah,
stop it.
Hollywood made this up. But it's like, stuff like that always gets me. But like, again, like anything with killers where it's like a movie like Wolf Creek, a movie like Scream, where it's like
Wolf
they're
Creek.
real people. It's
Mm.
not some supernatural thing. It's just a people killing someone.
yeah.
So like Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, like stuff like that.
God,
gets to me
that's
'cause
such
it's
an
like, it feels
underrated
real,
movie.
and I feel gross for watching it. Maniac is another one because you see it through
Yeah.
his eyes, and it's like, man, I feel gross. So yeah, that's the stuff that usually gets me.
I'll agree with that. I don't think it's ever been this thing of what movie scares you because it's like they don't scare me. It's does it make me feel bad? Does
It's the emotions, the
it's the
feelings that you
emotion.
go with
Like
it.
literally, if I put my finger on one, it's the scene in Descent with the claustrophobia.
Oh
That
yeah.
has probably been the most impactful a movie has ever been on me, that I felt like I couldn't breathe. I've had the jump scares. I've had the stuff like that. Yeah, you can startle anyone in a movie, especially if you're in a movie theater and they get it real
Oh
loud at
yeah.
that point. Okay, that's great. I can watch people get disemboweled. It doesn't scare me. It's what mood of a movie will scare me of something,
Yeah.
Entirely, yeah.
So yeah.
One that really got me of recent memory, It Follows.
It Follows.
See, I still haven't watched that yet.
Every
I need
time
I
to.
love that
you
movie.
watch it, it's like you just get a little bit more of the piece of the puzzle that you kind of like unlock to it. Like it just gets
Okay.
better and better with each viewing. But it's just the whole thought of something following you terrifies me. In the first VHS movie, there is a segment where it's two people vacationing, and then one of them they're being recorded. Like you see them being recorded as they're sleeping. That scares the shit out of me. The
Yeah.
fact that like Hannah and I always go on vacations, are sleeping in Airbnbs and hotels and
Mhm.
stuff. The fact of not knowing that someone would be in my room filming us while we're asleep,
Or in the
and like
attic,
it gives
or
me
in a
goosebumps.
closet, or in a secret
Yeah,
room, or
like
And that's
behind
why
the
a movie like The
mirror. Yeah.
Strangers is so effective. You know, anything
exactly.
like that is uber creepy.
Why'd you
Yeah,
pick us? You were home.
Yeah, it's just
yeah.
like,
That is
oh
That's
probably
a
god.
the most
chilling line.
that's the
Ugh.
most terrifying line in cinema. I mean, if you really want to think about it.
Yeah,
Not
because
here's
there's no
Johnny.
reason to it.
No, it was why did you choose us? You were home.
You had
Yeah,
really
you
shitty luck.
It's like, holy
you
shit,
answered the
I'm home
door.
right now.
You messed
Yeah.
up.
That's right. You know what? Like I told Nate, Ring doorbell is saving more lives right now than anyone.
Yeah.
A demon can't just ring the doorbell. Guys with masks on can't just ring the doorbell because I'm be like, I'm not opening my door. And also, I have my little friend with me when I open the door, so
Yes.
it's not going to work on me today, boys. But how we doing on Q&A, Nate? What we
Oh,
got?
I got another one.
Okay, another one.
What is a film that you wish you could be a part of? Like if you had a time machine and you could go back to
Ooh.
any area in horror and place yourself working in the movie, what one would it be?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a really good one.
That one's by your boy, me.
Oh, Nate
Oh
came up
man,
with
that
that
is a
one.
really good question.
Can I answer?
I have a
Yeah, I
couple.
mean, I want
I
everyone
want,
to answer.
I want to hear Deryk's, but I've already got my answer. I know what movie I would want to work on.
I would have wanted to work on the original Dawn of the Dead because it seems like they had a blast making that movie.
Yes.
Yep.
I would have wanted to work on the new Resident Evil movie, even though it wasn't good, just to
still
be
gotta see
involved
it.
with it and to be
To
there
work
and
on it, yeah.
see that happening because it's my favorite game franchise.
And it
So to
actually
be
has the
involved-
creatures from the games.
Yes, and
Oh, does it? I haven't watched it yet. So
dude, it does. But it's also 1-1 scale of like RPD and the Spencer Mansion. Like,
Oh, really?
Capcom gave blueprints of these things, digital blueprints, to the film crew so they could build everything to scale of what it was in the games.
That's
so everything is
fantastic.
That's awesome.
accurate. So that would have been amazing to see some of that stuff in person. Man, I would have loved to be a part of the original Conan the Barbarian because I'm a big fan of Robert E. Howard. I'm a big fan of Conan and sword and sorcery in general. So to be a part of any of the Conan movies would be amazing. They're making a new Red Sonja movie this summer.
Yes, they are
in Croatia, and I'm trying really hard to get on that. That is like a dream project for me. I own everything Red Sonja ever on in comic book form.
Yep.
So it's like I'm a huge fan, and to be involved with that in the future, that's definitely high on my list.
Well,
But
when
yeah,
the
definitely
director
those would
listens,
be fun
when the
ones.
director listens to this episode, we'll give
We're gonna
Derek a
make
call.
sure. Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
get the director up here and tell him like, hey.
I think that would be awesome. I just don't know how well I'd work in a desert. It's going to be hot as shit, and it's going to be
shooting
miserable.
in Croatia in the summer, so it's going to be pretty toasty. But
That's
you know
going to be
what?
warm.
I straight up, I started messaging some of the producers and I was like, I will fly myself out there on my
Oh,
own
they're gonna
dime
love
to work
you.
on them. I
Yeah.
don't
They're
even
gonna
care.
love you.
Just let me be here.
Yes, just give me somewhere to stay and I will do it. I don't even care.
Yeah.
Just because I want it that bad. So
Yeah, that'd be cool. There you go.
fingers crossed.
Sometimes that's how it works. I'll give my answer. Aliens.
Oh,
I
dude,
would have
yes.
loved to have been on set doing that movie around all those special effects, all that prop sets.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
Aliens. I mean, I would rather do that than Predator because I'd have had to been in the jungle. See, I don't look at, oh, it's an awesome movie. I want to see how it's done because I'd be like, I don't want to go in the jungle, so I'm not going on Predator. But Alien, Aliens, not the first one because there's more aliens in this one, more goo. That's like sound stages, that's like sets, that's like all
Yeah.
this other. The only thing I'm not going to be part of is Bishop crawling his ass through that tunnel because again, that's claustrophobic as hell.
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
not
Can't
doing
be
that.
having that.
Mm-mm.
No.
That's my answer. Nate, what about you, bub? You came up with the question. What's your answer?
Oh, I just want to be one of the people that's partying the sexy sax man at Lost Boys.
Yes. Oh my
Like,
god.
that's all I
yes.
want.
He just wants there for that scene. He doesn't
Yeah,
want to do the
that's all.
movie.
Not
Hear
even
that?
just that one scene.
That
If
one
I-
scene. I want to be the oiler. Nate's over there. It's like, all right, I got my hands lathered
Yeah.
up. Let's go, Bubba. You look
we
a
got
little
you.
dry.
We're about to make cinematic history.
I'm gonna add 2 to my list just because
Go for
I'm that guy.
This is fun.
These are 2 movies that were big into the reason I got into film, and y'all are gonna laugh. But my favorite movie of all time is The Lost World: Jurassic Park.
No.
So to be involved with that
The
would have been
second
awesome.
one.
Come
The
on. I
second
mean,
one
that's
is my favorite, and
nothing wrong with that movie. I don't care.
I wrote a novel explaining to a hardcore Jurassic Park fan why it's my favorite, and he replied with, "You know what? You're right. Respect." And then
Jeez.
stopped giving me shit on it because he was like, "Oh, it's not that good." Then I sent him like a textbook on Instagram explaining why I love that movie, and he was like, "I get it." And the next one, Batman and Robin,
Oh,
Seal.
because I'm telling you, the set design in that movie, the costumes, the props, the vehicles, that would have been nuts. That would have been amazing. I don't even care.
It gets a lot of shit, and it's not a good Batman movie, but
It's fun.
by looking at it from that lens, and also if you finally just get in your brain, and our buddies over at Action did this one as their Christmas episode
Mhm.
of where they're like, hey, it's not a Batman movie, it's an Arnold Schwarzenegger Mr. Freeze movie. And
It
that's
is, yeah.
exactly what this movie is. Everyone else is secondary. But you're right. The sets, how it was lit, it had flavors of Adam West. It had some of the darker stuff in it ever so slightly, and neon out the ass.
Oh,
Uh,
it is ridiculous.
I can appreciate that movie. All we need to do is digitally remove the nipples. That's all we really need
No,
to
they
do.
need to be bigger.
No, they need to stay.
You want
Yeah, I was gonna
bigger?
say more prominent.
Huge.
I
right,
want
we
to where
gotta
that's
cut.
the only thing you see on the screen.
Can we cut the bat butt then? I'll give you bigger nipples if we can just cut the bat butt scene.
I don't know.
You know
I'm all
what?
about butts.
That's a fair trade.
I
But
think
yeah,
it's fair.
If I have to
That's a
trade,
fair
sure.
trade.
I think it's a fair. I'm leaving the Batman, MasterCard. Don't leave the Batcave without it. You got to have that.
Yep.
Alicia Silverstone. Everything else stays. We'll lose the bat butt scene. You guys can have bigger nipples that have little rockets that shoot out of them. That would be.
I have to give a call out real quick to my friend Doug, who's a Batman
Call him out.
super fan. And because I used to tell him all the time, because he's also a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan, I was always like, dude,
Yeah.
I hate that the Ninja Turtles stole Cowabunga from Robin and Batman and Robin. And he would about swing on me because he's like, that Turtles did it first. I was like, dude, Robin said it first. Just let's get it. And that drives him insane when I say that.
Yeah.
So just shout out to Doug for
I
putting
get
up
it.
with my nonsense.
I would probably pick you up by your shirt too. It's you both of you are little. I could carry one of you on each arm, But yeah, no, we can't. You can't mess with Ninja Turtles here. That's
no.
That's my childhood right there.
No, those
Nate-
are really good questions though.
I thought that was
had a lot of
great
fun with that.
questions. Yeah.
We've got 2 more to wrap this
Awesome.
up.
All
Let's
right,
hear it.
let's double barrel this.
How are you going to survive a slasher? All of us, go. Slasher is attacking you. How are you going to do it?
This isn't fair because we talked about this during
We
our
did,
little
but
I'm gonna
it's
conversation.
strip
too good to
naked
pass
and
up.
run right at him.
So
Just
Do you
Derek,
have enough
naked,
time
run.
to drop trowel and run at him?
I think just the motion of unbuttoning your pants and unzipping is going to make the killer pause for a second.
I
Can
think
you
it worked.
imagine in the new Scream movie if someone just got naked real quick?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Maybe
I'm
it'll get me killed sooner. I don't know.
I'm throwing something bodily fluid at him. I won't get graphic, but I will make myself not be one. He'll be like, ew. I want the killer to go, I'm going to cut your guts out. And I do something. And he goes, ew. Bro,
Yeah, I'm turning this
that's
bad
not-
boy into a Gigi Allen concert. That's what I'm doing.
So what I'm hearing, though, is all three of us are in agreements that we just want the killer
We
to
got
go,
out
what
gross
is
the
wrong
sick."
with you?
Yeah, we gotta weird the killer out enough to leave us alone.
That's it.
He actually goes to therapy afterwards. Like, so I stabbed 3 people. Victim number 4. I turned myself in. My bad.
He whipped it out on us. I was not prepared for what I was.
He batwinged me.
It was a total waiting situation. We each do one. You get the bat wing, the goat, and then the Abraham Lincoln. So I think
Yeah.
we're good.
Oh God. I almost feel bad for the killer at that point, but
I'm just wondering who is prepared for the Abraham Lincoln because there's prep involved with that one.
There is.
I'm telling you what, if someone has that, they deserve to live at that point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love that.
All right,
Nate,
what's the last one?
well,
The
Here's with the
last,
last one,
one.
Bubba.
This is how you know if Deryk is legit, if he's real, 100%, not a poser. Shrek 1 or Shrek 2?
Oh, there we go, man. It's the ultimate
we
question.
did this last week, but yes, Shrek 2. They're both great, but Shrek 2 is like an absolute instant classic.
It's a
Only
superior.
correct answer.
Yeah, it's superior.
Shrek
it
2
is.
is perfect. Yeah.
I love Shrek, but Shrek 2.
Oh, yeah.
It's the sequel that surpasses the original.
I
It's
even
like
like
the
Shrek
T2 of Shrek.
Shrek
the problem
2
with Shrek
is,
3
is
is it
the
follows
equivalent
Shrek 2.
of Predator 2. Better than the first in every way, and I will fight Predator 2
shit.
where
Bro.
it's at.
If I could high five you right now, because between you and our buddy Sludge over at Sludgecast, Monster Movie Stomp Down, we all have a heart, a special place in our heart for Predator 2. And to
Yes.
me, I can't pick the better one, but please quit saying the second one sucks. I
No,
don't.
it does
Predator
not
2
suck.
is
No.
awesome.
I love Predator
There's so
2.
much blood.
Oh my
So
god.
much
it's
blood.
So gory.
Bill Paxton, everything you could want is there. It's in an urban setting. So again, what's more scarier? I'm not going in a jungle anytime soon, but that Predator can be chasing me from rooftops. No.
I was
No.
on a podcast last spring called Sequel to Deja Vu, where we review sequels, good, bad, and everything in between.
Yeah. Oh, that's
And
awesome.
my first episode ever was covering Predator 2, because I told the host, I was like, Predator 2 I think is better than the first. He's like, really? And I was like, yes. And I kind of went on about it, and he's like, I need to have you on my show and we'll talk about it as an underappreciated sequel. And the episode's almost 2.5 hours long of just us rambling on and on about Predator 2.
You
but,
keep doing it, we're going to be 2.5 hours long. 'Cause I
Yeah,
can sit
Dude,
here and
I'm
go,
telling
the,
you.
the weapons are superior. The kills are superior.
Adds
Gary
to the lore.
Busey is superior.
The lore, the design of the Predator looks so good. It's
All of them. You get
It's-
more
yeah,
at
all
the
of 'em.
end.
Yeah.
it's
The
amazing.
Predator
It's-
healing
it's a
itself in
great
the
movie.
bathroom.
The old lady
Oh.
that's watching Jeopardy.
Yep.
Yes. Oh my God.
Come on.
It's okay. I'm with the cops. I don't think he gives a shit.
Yes,
that-
I love that line. She delivered that perfectly.
So good. Great movie.
Oh, I love it. Nate, is that all of our Q&As?
That's all.
All right, guys, as we close in on 2 hours, we're going to do, there's nothing wrong with that. Our episodes
Nothing wrong
run.
with that.
Our episodes run what they run. You
People know what to expect from us.
That's
Rambles.
it, man. Yeah,
Rambles.
that's what we do here. So we want to thank Deryk for coming on. We are going to help them plug this movie. It's late checkout. You can go on YouTube. You can find the trailer. Go on Indiegogo and pick a tier. You can go as little as just getting the digital download all the way up to Deryk killing you. I mean, there's no wrong answer as long as you back it. We will have all of the links and everything in the group on our Instagrams. When they share something, we're going to share it. So we are behind this movie 100%. Deryk, am I leaving anything out here, brother? Why don't you give
Nah,
us some
man,
of your...
that covers about all of it. You know, like you said, definitely donate if you can. Anything as small as $10 to check out a digital download of the film, all the way up to, you know, dropping $300 to die by my hands in the
That's
film.
right. And we're
But
going to
there's everything in
discuss the
between.
blood. We'll
Grab
figure
a
out a...
poster, grab a signed print,
Oh,
grab a
absolutely.
screen used mask. There's all kinds of options, but you know, even if you can't donate, just sharing the campaign and getting it out there, making sure it's seen, you know, that's free and it does so much for us as well. So every little bit's appreciated. So even if you can't donate, sharing goes a long way, and we definitely appreciate that.
I'll echo that. And honestly, we'll just jump on that too. That also helps stuff like this. Share the podcast out amongst your
Absolutely.
friends. It doesn't cost anything. This interview is going to be out there for free. Share it with other horror lovers, indie lovers. We're all on Instagram. Deryk, do you have like a lot of Instagram followers? Do you
Not
want to...
really. I mean, I have over 1,000, so it's like I'm not a cool kid.
Do you want
But
to
yeah,
plug your
everyone is
Instagram?
more than welcome to follow me on Instagram. It's just Deryk Must Be Destroyed.
I do like that name. I was
You
like,
know
that was
what?
pretty
It's
cool.
I
awesome.
can't take full credit for it because Nate might know this. The guitar player of the band Exhumed, his tag,
Oh, how have I never
Matt
put that
Harvey Must
together?
Be Destroyed. I totally stole it from him. I swear to
Ah,
God.
how
Look,
did I not?
nobody would have known that. You could have totally owned
No,
it.
I would have, because like I have
You
met
didn't.
Matt with Deryk. Like we
But
have
you
talked to
didn't.
Matt together. I follow
Yes,
both of them.
I've seen Exhumed so many times. They've been one of my favorite bands for so long, and I totally riff that from him. And anytime I talk about my hashtag, my tag on there, people are like, "Oh, that's cool." It's like, it's not my original thing. Sorry, I just can't take credit for it.
I just know there's a podcast out there called "They Must Be Destroyed," so that's where mine goes when I read yours. But
Hey, but it
hey,
sounds like an old school like 50s tag for like some
totally.
giant
A monster movie.
armadillo
Yeah,
movie
giant
or
ants.
something.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Yeah.
that's their promo. Is they have a
Giant
dude
aardvark.
saying it like an old 50s. They must be destroyed. That's exactly what they're
That's
going for.
amazing, and I love
I
it.
love it.
Meanwhile, in the sands of New Mexico.
And that
Yes,
was just a free
exactly.
plug. Wasn't even planned on that, but there you go, guys.
Like
Um,
Johnny Quest.
That's it, brother. All right. So as everybody knows, you can find us at the Facebook group. Give me back my horror movies. Give me back my action movies. Both have Instagram accounts. Nate's running the Give Me Back My Horror Movies Instagram. I'm running the Give Me Back My Action Movies Instagram. You can email us at gmbmampod@gmail.com. Send us a message. Tell us how much you love Deryk, and we will pass that along to him. No weird pictures though, because I don't want to be involved in that. But no, it's a good time. I want to thank everybody for listening. I want to thank Deryk for taking the time to come out and talk all kinds of awesome stuff, not
Of
just
course.
the movie. Hopefully
Always a pleasure.
Josh is like, I hope they talk about the movie soon, not just 2000s horror genre.
We'll
But,
talk about the movie more when it comes out.
That's
Yes.
it. But
We'll do a review of it, like a commentary or something.
Exactly.
dude, I think that would be awesome that we could do some more stuff when this movie comes out. Obviously, we're gonna cover it. We support anyone that we bring on for the shows, just like with Witch House. Late Checkout is also going to be one of those movies that we help promote and get the word out there and get as many people as we can to watch it. So, guys, I think we've covered everything. Are we good?
I think we're good.
We are so good. Thank you so much, Deryk. I've been wanting to get him on since the inception of the podcast.
He is not wrong. He
So-
keeps going.
I'm
I know
so
someone.
happy to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He-
like I've
he
known
kept-
Deryk for a while now. I love him. He is a great human being. There's very rare times that I give someone that sticker, but he is, and I just can't wait to see him again. It's been a long time.
I was going to say, because now
Yes.
you have stickers that you can give him now. So,
And I'm gonna slap him all over his face. I can't wait to slap that face.
put them on the car, put them on his boxes, put them on the dead bodies. We'll get our promos out there too. Josh will be like, "What is that?" Don't worry about it. It's just fine.
I'll make sure to cover my my gearboxes and stickers.
There we go, guys. All right, guys. Thank you. And Nate, you want to get us out of here with the good word?
Groovy.
Hail to the king, baby. From the mountains.